Cool.
Hey everybody, welcome to Raptors in the Kitchen. It's Tuesday the 9th of September. I'm your host Alan Kerr, joined by Paul Faulkner.
Hello.
Sorry, joined by the ghost of Paul Faulkner.
No, it's Don Pardo, live from Saturday Night New York, sorry.
Cherry O'Terry.
Whoa.
Chris Parnell.
Billy Crystal. John Belushi. That's my Saturday Night Live. Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm shaking box. Sorry, I'll pay attention to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing okay, thank you.
Laura Nemo. Laura's also here. Well, that should be with us in a second. Pat Rodriguez is also here.
You did what? No!
I don't get that one.
Really? It's a Simpsons quote?
It's Family Guy.
Is it Family Guy?
Oh, why bring that to the table?
Alan Kerr.
Yeah, that's like why I was surprised.
Seasoned Simpsons fanatic.
Because in my head,
Myself,
I was all like,
thought that was a Simpsons thing.
I was all like, man, he's gonna love this one because it's like a Simpsons quote, but it wasn't.
Classic mix up from you, mate.
Yeah.
Classic.
Also, have you put the link on Facebook yet?
Oh no. No.
That was a loaded question because I know you haven't put it in.
He's checking right now.
Right.
Writing angry letters to our own Facebook page. Tommy Bass is also here.
I am. Hello.
Is the big skull jug on camera?
Yeah.
I think you broke Laura.
It is good. Like, I was checking it wasn't blocking anything. It's not.
That's fine.
Ahoy hoy internet. Ahoy
Yeah.
hoy.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy
What
hoy.
kind of ghost is that?
It's Mr. Burns answering the telephone.
That's true.
We go to
Simpsons!
It's a Simpsons reference.
Fucking
Oh,
David.
Speaking of which, the Frank Grimes episode was on.
Oh,
What
Wow, brilliant episode.
what a great episode.
God damn it.
Can I borrow your pen? No. Can Lenny borrow your pen? No. So Paul, what are you doing this week? Can I put up the fucking link? Alright, jeez.
Actually, what's Lenny's second name?
Travis.
No, Lenny
Not Lenny
Leonardson.
Because it's Carl Carlson. I know that.
Leonardson.
Is it Lenny Leonardson?
Something like that, yeah. It's not a great joke.
You guys are in sync.
what, the boy band or just in general?
No, they're not in sync. They were in sync.
Tommy, what can you tell us what you did this weekend since Paul was previously, otherwise occupied?
I saw a couple of movies.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're not going to
please.
get to that eventually. What did you do outside of watching movies, you
Man.
fucking clown?
I don't know. See, Paco's cranky because
Yeah.
he's got Destiny at home, and the world has to stop for him and move at his pace when he's got a
It's
fucking game.
Destiny to play Destiny.
Yeah. Shut up.
Hey!
I thought you were
Anyway,
sure.
I'm you did actually. Paco went to Comic-Con and acquired a T-shirt for me.
That's my story.
I'm about okay. Sorry, I acquired a T-shirt from somebody who got it somewhere.
Stay tuned to find out who and where.
Stay tuned. But yeah, it's awesome. I wore it today. Actually, it's an OCP.
OCP!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing with OCP.
Yeah,
I
you know
know
me.
You know me. But yeah, it was either that or a Skynet one. He says I thought you'd probably like the OCP one better.
Skynet's a bit obvious.
Cliche.
Everyone gets Skynet.
Yeah.
Only the true fans will get what you're rocking.
Yeah, no, I'm doing really well, Alan. Thanks
There
for
we go. And then Paul's back in the room.
Sorry.
Anything else, Tommy?
I don't think so.
Just a movie.
Watched the Scotland game last night. It was heartbreaking.
Germany
What was the
destroyed us.
final score?
It was 2-1 Germany.
Though.
It was again such a shit fucking goal to lose, man. But they were all chance, and Scotland actually put up a fight in the second half, so it was good. I enjoyed some more FIFA tournament live on the big cinema screen.
You even coaxed me into playing a couple of games.
I did, yeah. Like me and Paco. That's right. We had well, I say we had one of those nights. We did that thing we do like pretty much every week, where one night Paco will
Try
say
to take
me,
over the world.
yeah. Paco will say, "Hey man, I'm not working tomorrow. Do you want to get like fucked up?" And we do. And we end up playing SingStar and posting loads of stuff about it. But we played Rayman,
Oh,
Gran Turismo.
Like you weren't too keen on the old Kung Fu to begin
Oh,
with.
Kung Fu is fucking
Like,
great.
Eventually, it's like, let's play another game. Let's do another game. And then Shadow was like, no, look, I'm done.
But then it was like we were playing Gran Turismo, and we were both shit. And then I kind of won a race, and then
no, it was Grid.
no, we Grid 2. Was it Grid 2? I thought it was
Yeah.
Gran Turismo. we were
No,
playing.
you were
Yeah.
wrong.
Well, there you go.
We played Sports Friends.
We did.
Oh,
Sports?
does that have
It's
the
so
javelin game?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that
so
was
annoying.
fun.
Which I thought it was pretty fun, but Tommy wasn't.
I was getting so fucked
What?
up, but I was like,
It's like
"Is-
a-
how are you doing that? How are you doing
Yeah,
that?"
minigame compilation type thing of like just really weirdly controlling Games, yeah.
So we were playing. Well, before we were playing grid, right? And we were we were a bit shit at it, and then I managed to win a race, and then Paco was getting used to it, and he was winning a lot. And for me, it was always just like if I finished last, I'm like, we're going again. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. Because I'm like, my race is with whoever's 11th and 10th, because I'm not finishing last all the time.
And he was all like, "Oh, let's play FIFA," and then he told me the wrong controls. So
Oh, that's not true. That's not
I
true.
was like, "How do you change which player you are?" He's like, "Oh, it's R1, mate." And it turns out I played the entire game and it changed it all.
It was not the entire game. It was not. It was
No
5
thanks to you.
minutes.
How did you not realise?
No, like I did. I kept making comments. To the
Well, like it
extent
doesn't
of,
seem to be doing
I was
anything.
like, I remember like back when I played FIFA 20 years ago, when you pressed the button to change player, it used to get you to the nearest player of the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, why would it take a step back from this? So I was like, oh, I don't know, man, don't know. I was like,
Bear in
like,
mind, I was not trying to gain anything because I knew I was going to beat the FIFA anyway because he's not played it, and which I did twice comfortably.
I played comfortably by arse. You were
comfortably.
fucking, you were in the ropes a couple of times.
Aye, right. But yeah, but yeah, we played that, and again, it was funny because like Paco won a penalty, and anybody who's played like recent FIFA games knows that like when you take a penalty, it's not like you did 20 years ago. You have to like there's a, yeah. But this is like Paco won a penalty, and this would have probably.
What the
Sorry.
fuck?
Sorry, that was me.
Is that a coin?
Say it, Paul.
Yeah, so I was about to explain to Paco how to take a penalty, went boof, and it just like skied
Yeah,
it.
because I was like, he's doing that thing. Like I kept telling you it wasn't the first time I played a football
And
game.
then I said to you,
But then, like, you
hold
still
on.
insisted in telling me, like misinformation for the most part. But, like, you still were like, oh, you doing this, hold down the square before we shoot.
But you never
I was like-
did that. You were just like, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's
so-
why you missed.
You're like,
You
doing
don't
that
give me
thing
time
where
to tell you.
you're trying to explain the penalties, and I was like, fuck this, I'm going to take it right now when he doesn't
No,
expect
do you
it.
know, there was a couple of times
And
where I was trying to tell him what to
the
do.
bar thing was added.
Exactly. I was like, I'm trying to tell you what to do. And then there's times like, I've played a football game before, you know. And he was just like, don't, I know what to do. I know what to do.
But
It's
like,
like,
you know how it feels like when you were playing Mario Kart Wii, and I was trying to give you advice, and you actually went, shh.
no, because I was. It's like I knew what I was doing, but then you're like, look, man, it might be an idea to do this. I'm like, no, I'm driving my own way. It's fine, thank you.
Yeah, the bad way.
Especially was that by dying over and over
No,
again.
like the thing is, I was alright. I remember playing one of our friends, Adam Murray. We were playing online, and he was comfortably winning the whole time, and then it came at like the last lap, and I just out of nowhere I managed to just take him before the finish line. I was later told that in Adam's house he's got it's like a punch pillow. So rather than breaking pads, he has this pillow that he punches, and he fucking decimated it after I did that. And that's that idea. If you know Adam Murray, that's just a hilarious vision. Yeah.
I fucking hate Mario Kart. I hate it just goes out his way to annoy you. Like when you
I
put it-
like the fact that you don't have all the best lap times on others. One that you can't get.
DK route.
Yeah.
You're going back to the GameCube. Really?
Yeah, it's like there's one you can't get, and you will still insist that you're like, no, I've got them all. So I really don't.
I just
a couple times.
send it right there now. I know exactly which track it is.
Aye.
Man, you're going all the way back to Double Dash as well. Arcade.
Our cake.
It's not our cake.
Our cake.
Our
Our cake. Yeah, like we did that. I got an OCP t-shirt, watched some movies. I've been like on Netflix just binging through the TV show The Shield.
Never watched it myself. I've heard very
Everybody
good things.
should like, especially for someone who loves The Wire, you would love it. It's not as good as The Wire, but
Naturally.
but it's very well written, and like Paco even kind of said something that kind of hits the nail on the head.
Paco even. So like,
What did I say?
alright.
Alright, I'm
Maybe
fucked
it's in already like Paco's an idiot.
Yeah.
up. Alright.
As in like,
Oh, right.
like
Even simple little
even I
Paco.
could make an open.
Alright, sorry. Even Paco, who doesn't watch the show, was pointing out the fact that what's really good is there's no filler episodes. Like everything has a kind of overarching story. Yeah. So it is. It's really good. I've been, God, like I watched season 1 and 2 years ago. I'd never heard of The Shield because it was one of those shows where it was on like Channel 5 or Sky
Yeah,
One, and nobody
exactly.
really gave a shit about it. But then it was recommended by a friend. I really liked it, and then it came on Netflix. So I'm on season 7 now.
You really have back to it.
So
Hold on.
I
You
started.
were on season 6 yesterday.
And it's not even, that's like it's probably 20 episode season, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
it's 12 episodes.
right,
They're
yeah,
like 45 minutes an hour long. But it's like once Paco goes to bed from playing Destiny, I'll probably binge like around 4 hours of it. But yeah, so
You don't
you should watch The Shield.
anything soon.
I'm working tomorrow, so I'll have to. You said you're off tomorrow, so I expect to be bored because I will be on.
That's alright,
PS4
that's alright, I'll go hang with friends.
Oh, no friends.
But yeah, that was it though. It was okay week.
Since I know Paco and Laura are going to talk about a similar thing, let's go Paul.
Yeah, I've not done a huge amount. Been just like
You also saw a lot of movies.
Yeah,
making up to the last week.
last couple of weeks, I think. Well, that was nice. I mean, just doing my best.
Exactly.
Making my way through since we're talking television. We finished Cards Against Humanity cards of
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards Against Humanity.
Right,
Season 1. Pretty good.
You
The American ones,
survived
yeah,
Robin Wright's neck.
She's like a badass bitch. I will
She is, but her neck
fall
breaks
deep into
me
her
out.
crazy neck.
She's her turtleneck.
But yeah, I fucking loved House of Cards. I thought it was really good.
I wasn't really watching the first couple of episodes. It was like, I mean, there's like, whenever the vote takes place, and it's like, oh shit, like has just fallen into place and it all like makes sense and let's get going. From there on, I was absolutely over the moon about it all.
Like, for me, it's one of the best things Spacey's ever done because I forget that's Kevin Spacey. To be honest, that's Frank Underwood, and I loved it when he came out to the Oscars and he started doing his his accent and that, and it cut to Jennifer Lawrence and he was like,
Who's just like, oh,
she was like, I was like, yeah, no man, right?
I watched that show.
I'm just like Jennifer Lawrence.
It's weird to think of like celebrities being like kind of starstruck by other celebrities. It's kind of
have you ever seen like Jennifer Lawrence getting starstruck by meeting
Jack Nicholson.
not Jack Nicholson and Jeff Bridges? Like she just realizes Jeff Bridges is just out of camera and she's like, oh, and freaks out. It's so funny. And Jack Nicholson appears from her shoulder and the Oscars and is like, hey,
Yeah, he's
like,
like,
whoa, hi.
He goes, you remind me of a
Okay.
girlfriend.
She's
And she's like, oh, how about a new girlfriend?
And he's like,
oh my god.
she was like trying it on with Big Jack.
She was having a fun flirt with him, but yeah, she just everything. Yeah, like she just seems like a really cool person.
So, House of Cards gets the old Polly Faulkner thumbs up.
Sorry.
House of Cards.
yeah.
TV
Like,
show you're just talking about.
sorry, I was too busy caught up in Jennifer Lawrence. Like pretty good. I'm not quite bowled over by in the way that some people have been, but it's entertaining enough.
How much have you watched?
Season 1.
Sorry, yeah, that's how you started this conversation.
But people have said, like, different people said to me that season 2 kind of, as good as season 1 was, holy shit, season 2 fucking bad! So I'll
Give
keep
me
going.
certain people.
That's
No,
what-
it isn't actually, no, it's just, that's my kind of
that's
thing.
generally the impression folk do if they're doing impression me. He
No,
does
like the impression you use always, hey, man, how's it going? Like,
I like the goodbye all thing.
that. Yeah, that's something I like.
it's like cracking me, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're all done making impressions of Tommy Bass.
Which I wasn't doing, I would like to stress, like, I have the utmost respect.
If you want to
You
give
and
it
your
your
voice.
voice,
Fucking piss ass Paul.
if you want to give it a go, that's cool, man. If it's half as good as your Laura impression, I'll be very charmed by it.
Sure, yeah. No, I don't
I love your lawyer.
I had a guy in college last week ask me for like his graded unit, he's wanted to put together like a huge, big, epic thing, and he asked me whether I would consider myself an actor.
An
And
actor.
I'd kind of done a wee bit of like,
Okay.
I'd recorded a wee thing for him because I was happy enough to do it last year. But it was nothing too hard. And he said, yeah, would you consider yourself an actor? And I said, well, like, he said, what, like, involved in characters and accents? And I just was like, oh, like,
I've got a corner for you, eh?
renowned for my bad accents, renowned for not being able to stick to any of them, and so I politely declined, and he went away and killed himself.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
So, yeah, nothing too major.
Well, Paco and Laura, let's, I don't know, start with Comic Con or watching?
Ask them. Ask them, man. Go for it.
Comic Con?
You didn't go together, did you?
No. We
Okay.
went on different days. I went on Saturday, Paco went on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was shit.
It was shit.
It was shit.
So it's like, see, like, yesterday,
Let's just stress this at Glasgow Comic Con.
yesterday when we went to Watchmen, I'd only been at Comic Con like a couple hours before it, and was still kind of in denial at the fact that I paid 12 quid
To go to a shop,
to essentially be in a
a
flea
market,
market,
yeah.
which is exactly what it was.
Yeah, it
and
was.
like to be visually assaulted by overweight women in skin tight lycra.
So is it just the one hall in the SECC?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I
The
didn't
big
know
one,
that.
at least.
Yeah,
It's a big
yeah,
one.
it's a big hall. Like, I mean, like I did like maybe 4 or 5 laps of the place and still didn't really see everything. Like each time it was like, oh man, there's something new. Like
What famous people were there?
the woman who does the voice of Jack in Mass Effect 2,
Is she also the one who does the voice of Jane in The Walking Dead?
possibly.
She's Ada Wong as well.
Oh, right, okay.
She was a bunch of stuff, but like she's also actually quite hot.
Is that unexpected?
One of the guys who does the voice of like several Resident Evil characters, but like no one was queued up to get his signature or whatever at all.
Who's he done? In Resident Evil?
Zombie 1.
Shit, man. I would have went
Because like
for Pollock or something.
a
You
lot
loved that.
of the Resident Evil voice performances are like
Pretty bad.
like infamously
Yeah.
bad.
Mormont from Game of Thrones was there.
Oh, okay.
He was probably the biggest
What
name.
stage was she?
And
Rachel Steelpool.
Look, I'm pretty sure. Look, is the dude who played Harry Potter's horrible uncle dead?
Yes.
Timothy Spall.
Yes, he is, yeah.
Who's
No,
the
Timothy
guy?
Spall.
Who's the guy
No,
who
no, it's not
looks like
Timothy
him
Spall.
then?
Richard, the guy Richard something who died.
That's the guy who died, aye.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
There's a
Spall's
guy
not
who
dead,
looks a
right,
lot
no.
like him who was there. And so who's the other person you said? Timothy something.
Timothy
Spall.
Spall.
He
He
was
wasn't.
Worm
Yeah,
Tongue.
he's not there.
He won.
He's
Oh,
Wormtongue.
he was Wormtongue. No, it's
No.
not. Whatever.
He was
Was it?
Wormtail.
Wormtail.
Wormtail
Wormtail
is
Wormtail.
Wormtail.
For God's sake.
It's Wormtail.
Wormtail is Harry Potter's is Ron Weasley's pet rat. Spoilers for the third book.
So he's the one that like he's actually a human.
Yes.
Yeah.
And helps
Don't
all the
think
Worm
it's
come
him.
back.
I think like no, like I've definitely seen the guy before, but like I was going to say the guy from Demolition Man, like the kind of the fat servant dude guy, but I think that's the guy who died, who was Harry Potter.
Richard
No, no.
Griffiths is the name of
No.
of Uncle Vernon.
No, the guy in Demolition Man is the guy that's in Beetlejuice, the designer guy.
What's his name?
His name in Beetlejuice
It's
is
Otto.
Otho, is it
I
not?
think we've established that whoever was at Comic Con isn't that famous.
No,
I'm not
he
dead.
kind of he's like one of those people where if you were to see him, you'd be like, I recognise your face because you've been in loads of things.
Yeah.
Like
Then from Voyager,
he does look
DS9
like
there.
someone.
No.
Why would it be?
Well,
Sort of science fiction
like-
Comic Cons.
Yeah. It was basically just a big, huge market, and all the stuff that was there you could buy for cheaper on Amazon.
Do you think so?
Yes.
There's like that. The only saving grace about it, I would say, is that there's a lot of really kind of small businesses there. Where it's
Yeah.
like there's like guys who does his own kind of prints and stuff like that, and he sells them for relatively cheap. The one thing I took away from it is that all the merchandise was way cheaper than I was expecting to be. Like the t-shirts.
So,
you were wearing-
Paco, did you pick up any merchandise for a dear friend?
Yeah. I
What did you buy?
I bought you a t-shirt. And
Oh, where have you
Yeah,
got
I
to?
got-
I didn't. So yeah, like that. But the t-shirt was £10. That's all right. I bought myself a comic because like the artwork for it was absolutely fantastic. It's a comic called Metal Made Flesh. And like the artwork is brilliant, but the writing and the story is pretty guff.
But you're not one for comic books. You said this before.
Yeah, but like I was totally suckered in by how good the artwork was. Like it was really fucking good. But like now that I think about it, I should have just bought the posters that were there rather than taking a chance in the comic because it turned out to be shit.
Could you not like
Rip them out. Excuse me.
no, not rip them out? Just would you not have had a browse through it and be like, oh, this actually, writing's okay. It looks like a pretty good story.
You know what you do when the artist and writer sit
Sitting
right
right there,
there?
yeah, the guy who wrote it was
All right, it was like a
and like
stall or
he
something.
was the spitting image of you as well. And like it seemed really nice as well.
Guillermo del Toro, loads of folk. Yeah,
No,
I
but
get that.
he had the same shorts that you wear on. Like your shorts.
Oh,
fully your shorts.
I meant to say to you again, friend of the podcast, and he's been on the podcast a couple of times, Craig Balnave. Are you one of the folk that don't like his shorts? You know the red kind
Oh, they're
of.
fucking hideous.
Aye, because
They're like horrible golf shorts, or like something that a wanker would wear playing
Craig
golf.
still listens to this podcast.
I know.
No, it's just because I seen him the other day. I was like, oh, there's the shorts. He went, what's wrong with the shorts? He says, I'm the only one of our friends that doesn't mind them. He says, what do you mean? I says, Tino, Paco,
So
and I
that's a
think Danny.
revelation.
And he's like,
That's
Paco,
right, they're
who
idiots.
Paco's going to give me or criticise my fashion sense?
Yeah.
Fuck
It looks
you.
like it looks kind of like something that the Bay City Rovers would wear.
I can see that, but at the same time, I think the shorts are alright. But Yeah.
Doesn't help that he's got those like fucking chicken legs as well.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
he's hearing all of this and just making a list of shit he's gonna do to you. But yeah. So
Yeah.
a disappointing.
Like,
Yeah.
like, I would say though, I would go back to it, but I would only go back to it to try and promote this podcast. I think that's the perfect kind of place to hand out flyers and.
Yeah, I'd only go back if there was someone that taught us speaker there that I was interested in. Like, I was there from 8:30 in the morning because of the early bird tickets,
God.
and we got in at 9, and we stayed. Me and my man Andy were there.
My man.
My man, till 12, and I was on the clothes the night before. I was tired. I was cranky. I was incredibly judgmental of the costumes on show.
Some of those costumes were good.
Some of them were
But
great.
so many of them were like, you just looked at them and it's like loads of fat bursting out of skin tight lycra, and you're like, why would you do that both to me and yourself? Like, I don't need to see that.
Check.
Like, I don't need to see a really, really fat Una. I don't want to see that.
Okay, I mean,
Are the eyes right at least?
No, not yet. I didn't get close enough actually to be perfectly honest.
remember the picture I showed you today that you'd already seen? Was that cosplay at Glasgow Comic Con?
No.
Alright.
There were some good costumes. There were some good outfits. There was like 5 bajillion Jokers, like 80 Harley Quinns, 5 or 6 Batman, but that wasn't too bad because it tended to be
Kids.
like really, really young kids.
And that's
dressed as
fine.
Batman, that's alright.
And
No one dressed as Iron Man or Optimus Prime?
There was somebody dressed as a Iron Patriot.
Yeah.
Okay. Random.
See if you went like in your Elizabeth costume and charged like $5 for pictures, you could have really made some good money that day.
I was too tired.
Too tired and cranky. What? You want a picture? Aye, fucking $10 now because I'm sick of being fat.
That's Laura.
Can I
That is Laura.
Can I
Right,
clarify?
jeez.
Like, I have nothing against like overweight women. It's overweight women in skin tight lycra. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
It's quite a niche.
Not there, it's not. If you think it's a niche, go to Comic Con. You will be amazed.
The cosplay picture I was referring to was it just there was 2 folk lying on the ground and it just said Bruce Wayne's parents. In a suit with the like just with the pearls and that.
Popcorn.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
pretty good.
What idea?
It's like some of the outfits when you just look at them, you're like, that must have taken you fucking ages to do that.
There was a lot of really good cosplay on show, but there was a lot of like really half-arsed cosplay on show that I was just like.
Yeah.
There was one couple in particular. There was the guy who was dressed as a Red Spartan. Superb. I was like, dude, you're cool, man. Well done. And his girlfriend was Cortana, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, she obviously made the suit herself. I was like, oh, that's sweet. And they were promoting their cosplay fabrication business, and I'm just like, if you're gonna promote your own cosplay business, you should probably blue up your face, because she just like had the wig on and she
Is
had,
it Halo?
yeah, it's Halo, it's Cortana from Halo, and she's blue, completely blue. And I'm just like, you've just kind of left your, I understand it's bluing up, as they call it, blue man grouping.
Bluing herself.
Bluing herself. Right. Can be, it's a pain in the arse, but if you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
So.
If you're advertising quality, you've got to.
Yeah, you've got to promote. It's your business. If this is what you want to do, and probably because I was really tired and cranky, I was just like, "Fuck you, man! I could do better."
Were there any panels, talks, Q&As with any of the guests? Do you know, or was it just like
there was
On
there was a
the
panel.
day I was there was nothing.
There was a panel for Luke on the Saturday. Luke Evans from
Ah,
The
yeah.
Hobbit was there, and like Pamela and Amanda. They were doing-
Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula and
Unbound.
Unbound.
yeah.
Fucking looks
Folk are really going like. I've
It looks
seen loads of shit
stupid.
that does
Oh
look
my
terrible.
god, it looks bad. But like he was there, and wasn't really interested. And there was a guy from the internets was there
I've heard of that.
from YouTube, this animator guy, and then there was this web show called Caledonia. That's not. It's just started.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Scottish thing. It's basically like Hellboy, but in Scotland. It looks super shit.
Well, like every single member, without exception, every single member of the cast looks like Gordon McNaughton. Every single one of them.
I mean nothing to anybody.
It means something to a lot of people.
What's the name of that?
Gordon might be listening right
What's the name
now.
of that Scottish
Gordon,
show
you've been cloned.
that's supposed to be like the Scottish Game of Thrones? Is it out?
Outlander.
Outlander.
Yeah.
Is there nobody from?
No, no dude from Outlander was there, and there was someone from Manga UK promoting anime stuff, and I'm like, alright, I was going to go and watch that, but it was at 4 o'clock, it was 12 o'clock, and I was already bored. Like, as Paco and I have already said, it is just a big market, and there's nothing really there to do, per se.
Yeah.
Like, There was a Robot Wars at the back. It only lasted 10 minutes. There was a stall promoting like tabletop gaming, like Warhammer and all that stuff. Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff, which is cool. But if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, they've got you for life. So you
There
don't
was
even
some
start.
nerds in the corner. Nerds.
Nerds. But like I respect that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But like other than that, and there was a League of Legends table way over there that I had no idea what was going on. It was really boring. Then like it's like, I'm getting old because there's just like 14-year-old girls dressed as fucking Sailor Moon running about, and I'm like
5 bajillion people with free hug signs.
Yeah, free hug signs. And like it's just like they're all giggling and pushing each other, and I'm just like.
Then they all like started a conga line at one point during the day I was there as well.
Have you ever seen that picture of like a guy with a free hug sign and someone standing beside him?
Premium hugs.
Premium hugs $5.
That's good.
Like I think maybe as if in a couple of years if it gets bigger, it might attract more.
Need more there. Like the only reason I really wanted to go in the first place was because I thought that there might be a chance that Oculus would be there. Oculus Rift.
Oh, I would pay $12.
Exactly. I was like, man, it's Glasgow Comic Con. Like, if I'm ever going to get a shot of this at any time in the next couple of years, this is probably my best shot. And then I showed up, and like the games part of the Comic Con was that League of Legends table, and they had like a second-hand video game stall. And that was it.
And like the only really good part about Comic Con was the comic village where like Paco got his own. There's lots of independent comic book artists and writers there, and seeing their stuff was pretty cool. Like it was nice to see that there's still it's not necessarily the big like Marvel, DC, and the standard and dark comics and stuff. Just like there is little independents that do their own thing, which was pretty cool. But don't pay £12.
Yeah, definitely don't pay £12 to go.
And don't wait in a queue for 4 fucking hours or whatever, however long it was taking people to get in. It's just.
Was it busy?
Yeah, it was mobbed.
Yeah,
it was mobbed, and it was just full of Waynes. But
like the Waynes brothers.
It was full of like.
I paid $12 to the Wayne brothers.
Really? A big attraction this year.
Yeah.
Like, see, like I think that if you go to it prepared to spend money on like loads of different really cool prints and T-shirts and things like that, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But I went there specifically because I wanted to try out those things. It was a gamble, and it didn't pay off.
So say like say there was some kind of convention, like Comic Con, whatever, and who's the one person you'd want to meet that you'd expect to be there?
I've said to you before, I don't really get starstruck. No, I don't care. Like at the end of the day, I know that they're just people. Like, it's
No,
just
it's not about. I'm not saying you're obsessed.
I'm really bad at like. I mean, I've had opportunities to go and speak to people, and I'm just in a situation where it's like, you don't really care about like what I've got to say to you. I don't have anything like significant to say to you. I mean, I would just come up to you and just be like,
Hi.
I like your stuff. Thanks very
Well
much for
done.
making it. Keep doing your career, I guess, until you make a bad movie or whatever.
And then I just
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's like, oh my god, it's the deal. And I know some folk are like, oh my god, my life revolves around meeting these stars, getting their autographs or some shit. I'm just saying, like, would there be one person, like, even to do that, right? I mean, I remember last year, the year before, a couple of friends went to Braehead, I think it was, and Robert Englund was there, and I'm like, fuck, I would actually love to have met Robert Englund. I would like to say thanks for scaring the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah, but that,
you were really cool.
You wouldn't have got to do that, Tommy. It's not a case that you could just walk up to
You have to
him,
pay
because there's
money.
like 30 or 40,000 people there.
I know, yeah, no, I know.
You wait 5 hours, then pay money to be like, oh man, you're alright.
I love you.
And you get a picture of him, and it's like, that's cool, man, it's Freddy Krueger.
But it's just like, I think.
You can Photoshop that. And
It would be the same.
Or your classic Photoshop. So it's like, I think if there was maybe a panel that I would be interested in, like, say,
Yeah.
BioWare turned up Mass Effect 4 preview, I'm there, I'm in.
exactly, yeah. And that's like,
So-
whenever I've seen Comic Con stuff in the past, granted this is San Diego
It's
Comic
San
Con
Diego,
stuff,
yeah.
but like it's like, oh, here's like our big Bungie panel. I could sit and watch that.
Yeah.
But like I was expecting there to be like previews of like stuff that's not came out yet or stuff like that. So like the first couple of like maybe the first half hour or 40 minutes, I kept saying to Liam was like, you know, do you want to go and like see one of the other kind of side halls or something? Because I didn't realise it was actually just that one big hall. And like Liam was always like, it's like,
I don't know. It's like, so, I mean, you don't care, right? But, and you're saying, Paul, you're like, no, I don't really.
Like, the panels is a good point. Like, being able to sit and like have a conversation or like potentially pull wisdom or experience from them. That's why I'm more interested.
Anecdotes and stuff.
Yeah,
Who
like
do you want to
just-
see?
Like, I mean, you've got people like the Coen brothers, I suppose, like people who like good writers. Oh God, like Charlie Kaufman, like being able to like hear him speak about his he works as a writer.
His craft.
So
Speaking of which,
yeah.
look, I know we can probably going to talk about movies and stuff later, obviously.
Hopefully,
But did you watch Confessions of a Dangerous Queen?
I haven't. No.
Did you?
It wasn't on the US Netflix, no. So
Is that not
UK.
no, yeah, it could be watched actually for the UK one. So
But I did add it to my list between House of Cards. I did.
I didn't think you'd want to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like
I don't think you get along with him.
there's no. I don't.
Daniel Bryan, would you go on him?
Hey,
yeah,
big beards. Like,
You get along with who?
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
And like CM Punk's one of those people who's got to a point where you kind of want to meet him just so you have the CM Punk told me to fuck off story.
Mick Foley was lovely. He didn't charge us for a photograph or fuck all. He just just how you getting on, whatever, can we get a photograph? I thought was really great. But yeah, it's kind of shit where you're like, yeah, I'd like to take a photograph, yeah, 30 quid please.
Who's an extra 30 Rock that I watched this week?
Mick Foley?
Yeah, with Charlie Bit My Finger and one of the Kardashians, but one of the less famous Kardashians.
I don't remember that. If you know,
It's quite. Alright, okay, it's quite late on. Maybe season 7.
Why is it in it?
It's because Jenna and Liz have fallen out, and Liz has decided to go and make a friend. Like they both were going to make like Jenna's going to hang out with other celebrities, and Liz is going to go and hang out with another Liz, and they like wander around complaining for 15 minutes and don't get anything done. Whereas Jenna has nobody to listen to her because all the celebrities just want to talk about themselves. It's fun. It's good.
I don't remember ranking it. Oh well. But yeah, Paco and Laura also saw Watchmen on the IMAX.
Yeah. Was that part of Comic Con?
Yeah. Why was this happening?
Laura was saying that they probably put it there because of Comic Con.
Yeah, it was.
But they didn't advertise it.
No. They like the Science Centre IMAX in Glasgow. It wasn't technically a part of Comic Con, but as Paco said, because Comic Con was going, they decided to put on movies that would suit the clientele.
Smart, yeah.
So on the Saturday there was, pretty sure it was Saturday, or there was the Avengers on the big screen in IMAX.
Wow.
And then there's a double bill of the new Star Trek movies on the Saturday. And then on Sunday it was Watchmen.
Good job then. That's
good
range.
Sorry, let's see, just to go back to what was talking about the other guy who was at Comic Con that we couldn't remember what it was. I remembered he was in Rome, and his name is Ian McNeice.
He does look like Mr. Griffith. You're right. Yeah.
He also looks like that guy.
I guess a wee bit. Yeah.
Glenn Shaddix.
Yeah, that's the guy from Devilman and Beetlejuice.
He kind of had a camp voice like that, doesn't he? That guy. Yeah. I sounded a bit like Frank Underwood.
Yeah, I've seen Watchmen countless times over the past couple of years. I really wanted to watch it again on the big screen. It was excellent.
I sold it to Paco by just going Watchmen IMAX. It's an IMAX, Paco. IMAX.
That was it.
And that was it.
It's just surprising the amount of times I've watched that film, and then watching it in IMAX, the amount of things you notice for the first time, just because everything's just so much bigger. So it's like loads of little kind of references. Like they've got a reference to the end of the graphic novel in the sequence when Dr. Manhattan's energy balls are blowing up New York. There's like a thing that says like squid is enacting or something like that. So it's like, a wee kind of nod of the head to how it should have ended, according to Alan Moore. But there's just loads of things about it, like the part where they're going through Mars and he's talking to Silk Spectre 2. Like they've got like Olympus Mons in the background, which is the biggest mountain on Mars. Like I never noticed that before. It's just loads of wee touches just scattering everywhere.
And just like the visuals are just insanely good on like an 80 by 60
Was it
screen.
3D IMAX?
No, it wasn't. I'm really happy it wasn't 3D IMAX.
Would have been too much.
It made me feel a bit sick. Just like IMAX, real IMAX, which the Science Centre is real IMAX.
Like 60 feet tall.
80 by 60 feet.
Yeah.
It's just the noise, just the sound system, just like every single punch was like an explosion. And just the fight between, like, the lobby fight between Ozymandias and the assassin, it's fucking ridiculous. He just, like, when he grabs the ball out and just coofs him, and you're just like, Jesus.
Like, even, like, right at the start when he puts the comedian's head through the fucking marble table, like that noise,
Just like-
like you felt it in
You
your
felt
gut.
it
It's like, holy
exactly.
shit.
It's just like, and the obvious Archie sex scene was 10 times more awkward because it's 80 feet.
Though it is the first time in my life I've seen a dick the size of a house.
I know, yeah, exactly.
There's that.
Yeah. And like, it was just really, I've only, this is the second time I've seen Watchmen since,
What?
well, yeah, I've
What?
only watched it once.
I've watched it once as well.
What?
So I've only seen it once, Tommy.
And it was just nice to see it again and kind of put the pieces together. And
It's
I
fucking
will
great,
always
man.
prefer the movie ending to
Yeah,
the comic
the
ending, because the comic ending, it makes sense, but it's
It doesn't.
Kind of comes out of left field.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No,
What's
like,
happened all of a
I
sudden?
like the end in the graphic novel, but the film, I see why they changed it. But ultimately, it's the same. It means the same
It's
thing.
exactly the same, but
So
it's
that's
just-
why the ending in the film and the comic, it's not a problem.
It's not exactly the
means the same
same.
thing.
It means the same thing, but it ties it
But
up together.
It makes more sense.
It makes
in the
more
movie, though,
sense.
because, like,
It becomes from a character.
it's like for people who may not know, like the original
Spoilers.
graphic novel version of Watchmen, Ozymandias was making a gigantic squid alien that was going to attack New York. But it wasn't really going to attack New York
No.
because it was like it wasn't actually
Are
alive.
you just going to show up?
Yeah,
It's,
just gonna,
it's
just
a
gonna
dead
be there.
it's a
It's not
dead
an alien.
carcass.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
they were claiming it was an alien, but
It
it
was
was
just
just
a big
something that
squid.
he had made. And the idea there was supposed to be that because humanity have now got like
An
something other than themselves to fight against,
Mhm.
they're all going to unite and
Band
put an
together,
end to the Cold War, and humanity will be able to prosper as like an actual socialist species. But that's a fucking stupid idea because it's a big, massive.
No, I was going to
split.
say, yeah, but the
like-
whole idea is like Ozymandias lies to people, but in the end, the Watchmen can all agree, apart
It's
from
for the greater
Rorschach.
good.
Yeah, apart from Rorschach, I was like, you can't do that to people. That this is lies. People need to know.
Yeah.
And then there's the big ending where
And-
you're like, oh man, they
in the
will find
movie,
out.
in the movie,
But you don't
it's
know
much
to
more
find
sense.
out. That's the thing. It's up to you. There's no.
No, but his journal
Yeah,
makes
but
it to the
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that
No,
they print it.
It's the New Frontiersman.
The New
it's called.
Frontiersman, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the
It's
thing,
still
though.
crackpot paper. So
Yeah, exactly. So it's like having that like in a paper where people just look at it and are like,
It's like
whatever.
if he sent to our equivalent of Heat magazine, right? That turns up in Heat magazine and just like.
I thought it was like is because I know
But
that
it is. It's
in
like
the graphic novel, it's a lot more, like there's a lot more political things. Like Rorschach's very right wing and all that. And
But he's
like,
right wing in the movie though.
but they kind of there's a lot more emphasis on like his political beliefs in there. They kind of it's touched upon.
Actually, he's got like there's a great bit. I never paid attention to it before. But it's a part where Rorschach's talking to the therapist,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I don't like you." The therapist's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're fat." Which means you're clearly wealthy and you've probably got liberal sensibilities.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a downside. Like the fact that he's a liberal is something that Rorschach hates. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and that's like you hear like he reads the New Frontiersman and like agrees with their political views and all that. Whereas like I thought in the movie, you get sent this paper, but there's no it's a political right wing paper, and none of that. There's no sense of that. It's just they get sent that paper. But yeah, but I like to think that humanity does find out like what Ozymandias did.
why? That means everyone can go to war and stuff.
Yeah, but I think it kind of just shows that this idea, like, well, it kind of, it's the fly in the ointment that Ozymandias didn't count on, and he's supposed to be the smartest man in the world, and his plan is all the fuck, showing that it doesn't matter how much you kind of cover up the lies, the truth will come out one way or another.
So my only real problem with like the
Truth is
plot
out
of
there,
that
man.
is that like fair enough what Ozymandias done like was for the better good, the greater good, and like Dr. Manhattan gets behind that. That's fair enough.
Killed billions.
But why like?
Like, doesn't kill billions, it
No,
kills millions.
he kills
to save billions.
millions to save billions, but like keeping the lie a secret in order to maintain
yeah.
peace, that's fair enough. Once it's actually been done, but they should never have like let him live. Like
Yeah,
if I
they
was in
should
that
kill him,
room, I'd be
yeah.
like Manhattan, kill him now because he might do this shit again.
Yeah.
Like he might do something else. It's like fucking
But that's
crazy. Kill him now.
But that's what's
He's
again,
still a murderer.
that's what's really good though. Is like I at no point think Ozymandias is going to do this again. As in It's strange.
He's done it once.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's
He's
strange.
not a bad guy though. Like,
But you have to be pretty fucking crazy to do that.
yeah, but he thinks he's the hero.
No, yeah, that doesn't. But yeah,
The villain, like that's the thing.
those are all the great villains.
Yeah, but you're saying he's not a bad guy. He kills millions of folk and just calls it collateral
For a
damage.
good reason though.
But that's not the point. It's murder.
Yeah, but in his head, he's like, it's not as if he's going to be like, oh, okay, I've saved the world, now what to do? Oh, I'm going to take over the moon. Like, he's not like some sort of.
Mustache.
But like
He's not a
utilitarian.
supervillain.
Yeah.
But like he's a utilitarian. He's going for the greatest outcome, like the best amount of wealth for everyone. The outcome. So like if a situation comes back up where people need to die, he'll say, "Yep, that
Yeah,
has to be a
exactly.
solution."
Yeah.
So
He's
how many
Ra's al
people?
Ghul. He's like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
like Ra's
yeah,
al
yeah.
Ghul.
How many people will? How many situations will continue to arise that he's just like, oh, more
I think,
collateral
like,
damage?
Like again, they don't ever actually say this in the movie, but one of the last shots you see is of Manhattan kind of getting rebuilt, and again, I never noticed this in the
It's
small screen,
Lloyd, yes.
but on the
It's Lloyd.
IMAX when you can see that it's got Veidt Industries everywhere, so it is him that is rebuilding the world.
So it's
So that's-
shaping it kind of like.
That's kind of like fair enough, man. Like it's coming out of his pocket now. Like he's now like rehoming people and all that sort of stuff. So
I'm getting paid.
It's really interesting. Like I know that Alan Moore hates this movie. Like
He just hates everything.
as Alan Moore, that's his prerogative too. But I think this is like the best movie Zack Snyder will ever do.
yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Probably. Well, that
Well,
or Dawn
no.
of the Dead.
Because like it's so fucking like visually striking. Like so many of the scenes in it are just fucking brilliant to look at. Like
I
the
think
dialogue,
it's,
as much as sometimes can be quite ropey when it's like acted out,
Yeah,
it actually
It works,
it's quite
though.
poetic and
It
good.
works.
Like,
but that's mostly because of Moore's writing and Gibbons' artwork. Like basically, the majority of that movie is just captured as like frames of in motion
Yeah.
from
I mean,
the
that's-
cells from the comic.
Yeah, and the intro to Watchmen is
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
fucking great. It's such an excellent way to
It's a great summary of what's
just
set in the
show
scene there.
decades of what's been happening, and it is really good.
And-
But
no, the fact that the story's like multi-layered as well. You know,
Yeah.
so you've got all this stuff about the Cold War and like mutual assured destruction and all that stuff. And then it's got like all the kind of breakdowns of archetypes of superheroes. And then there was more. I'm sure I can remember thinking of this last night, but it's kind of escaping me right now. There's definitely like 3 or 4 different.
There's the whole thing about the pirate ship. There's the whole thing about the Minutemen in the 60s.
Under the Hood,
Yeah.
There's that whole thing, yeah. Which none of that really comes up in the movie, but it's like it still gets the point across.
Yeah. And then, like one of the central themes as well being the, like this idea that humanity is intrinsically just evil and shitty.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why the
It's
comedian is
savage,
such a
yeah.
dick, is because he's
He
like,
understands that.
yeah, he's showing humanity what they're like.
But what's that quote in it? It's like he's seen what
He
humanity
saw
was.
society's true face and chose to be
Yeah,
a parody of it.
Yeah.
Well, as he says, well, like, oh, people always ask what happened to the American dream.
You're living it,
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool guy.
And like, see that bit, he looks like he's having the best time
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
By
Because I
gassing people.
turned to Laura about it, said like that must have been so much fun
Fun.
to film because he looks like he's having a fucking laugh.
Like there is a couple of niggles I have in this movie, just like visual niggles, and it's like little nitpicks. It's just like who plays Silk Spectre? The second one, Armina Armin or whatever.
Malin Arkin.
I think whatever her name is.
That's him.
She's probably the worst of the cast. Probably her acting's not the best, but it's not that. It's not a deal breaker. Carla, her mother, her prosthetic when she's old
Oh,
is
yeah.
super rubber.
Tricky Dickie's
Super rubber
stuff is,
neck.
like really bad as well.
And but I think Tricky Dicky didn't really bother me that much because it's very much a caricature of him. But that's the only niggles I really have with that movie. It's just like everything else is great.
Some of the dialogue's pretty bad.
It's on the dialogue, but it doesn't bother me that
I
much.
think it fits in with the
It
tone
fits
of
in
the
with the tone of the movie, and like it's long. It's
Okay.
3 hours long, and
It needs
it
absolutely
needs to be.
out.
It does need to be, and I think, although like you guys are saying about Ozymandias that he doesn't seem to feel the weight of his decision, I think he does feel the entire weight of his
No,
decision.
I'm not saying that. Like, I'm sure he probably does realise that what he's done is kind of bad. But my point being is that, like, with Dr. Manhattan, like Night Owl 2 and Silk Spectre 2 in that room after everything has come down,
They should have
I'd be
dealt
like,
with it.
kill him now. He's killed like 15
Well,
million
if they kill,
people.
well, why didn't they can kill Rorschach? So why didn't they kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they knew they couldn't kill
Yeah,
him.
it's like
Ozymandias.
They could.
But they could.
He's not better than all of them.
no, but Dr.
Manhattan-
Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan
just
doesn't
has a point.
care though.
Was that they could have convinced them to care though?
No,
That's the whole point of the film.
no.
By the end of the movie, Manhattan does care.
I don't know if it, like, because Manhattan even says himself that he doesn't feel human anymore. He's barely human. So all this like kind of emotions and shit, like even the way he treats Inspector too, he's very kind of not. He's not human anymore. Yeah, he's disconnected from humanity, big time. But yeah,
It's such a good movie. Watch it.
Yeah.
Watchmen is fucking good, man.
There's not a whole lot of news.
Christ, we just there.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Carl Urban says there's been some talk about a prequel to Dredd. About going back to that, because for a long time it was like didn't make enough money, it's not going to happen, but people keep bringing it up. And he said, well, there's a story that takes place before the events of Dredd that he'd like to talk about, like exploring Mega City 1 in a deeper way, like as opposed to just this one building.
That can work, but I think one of the things I love about Dredd
It's so isolated.
yeah, it's like, you know what, goodies versus baddies. She's in this building. He needs to go get her. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I mean, Dredd is for me kind of an eye opener of where we're at, because it was so good because it was so simple. There was no, oh, it turns out that she was actually a part of a bigger conspiracy, or she's actually the police force or whatever, in and out of that. It was just, no, this is just straight up get goodies versus baddies. That's it.
I would just
And I
like
like
another. I would like another.
So would I.
slice
I'd like just
of-
do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but something similar.
The exact same thing.
But like, yeah, because the worry for that is that it'll turn into Matrix 2 and 3, where it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but that was the worry
It's
about
too-
22 Jump Street, where it wasn't 21 Jump Street. It was its own thing, but it was still really funny. And I was like, yeah, if, like same as the Raid 2, but the Raid 2 was very different from Raid 1.
I don't think Raid 2 was as good as it could have been.
it was like,
It was messy.
it's a completely different genre
Yeah.
than the first movie. Like, you can't really compare them.
Like having something else where it is just Carl Urban like being a fucking badass for like 2 hours.
Just be Dredd. Just be Dredd and just go do shit.
Maybe like a bigger scale of action scene would be pretty cool. Like,
Though I would disagree with going for a prequel though.
No, it doesn't. It just needs to be a different thing. Like,
well, like when you're saying prequel, I think that's all purely because the story from the comic that they're looking at happens to take place a bit earlier. I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, the origins of Judge Dredd.
yeah, as long as it's
Yes.
not an origin story,
keep
then
it on
we're
as
fine.
well.
Yeah.
Terminator Genisys has 2 sequels set
Fuck
already.
off.
Already?
And for 2017 and 2018, they're going to film them both back to back. All good things about sequels, right? This is what you want to hear. Oh, you're filming both back to back, so you save money and then you can put them out faster and
No.
make them 3D. And
Well, this is like, I don't know, say is me and a friend were talking about why The Matrix Revolutions sucks ass so much. Was The Matrix is such a good movie in terms of it's a standalone, like, fucking groundbreaking action movie, and it's got a good story. But it was so good, it's like, right, it's the same as Pirates 1, it's like, right, it's so good, it's made so much money, we want 2 more. So then your problem then is like, right, now we have to carve a story to make it a trilogy. And that's why, like, the first Matrix movie is so different from the second and third, because the second and the third one are so connected.
interestingly, do you know who's to blame for all this? First movie to do this?
Oh, Robert Zemeckis?
No, Peter Jackson's no.
No,
Oh, was it
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're fucking good movies though, man.
Yeah, but like,
You get to think about that? It's like, fuck off, man. Back to the Future 2 and 3 are well good.
Two's okay. Two's good. Two's a bit.
Two's great.
I don't know.
Jesus.
Two's just alright.
I actually quite liked it.
Yeah.
Choose.
Two's dark as fuck.
Two's
It's
good.
fucking
I don't
great,
like all the
man.
bits in the future when like Biff runs the town and
That's
stuff.
grim.
I'm not upset. Like I dislike the start of Back to the Future 2 because it just tries its hardest to recreate Back to the Future 1, like
Yeah.
almost shot for shot. But then when it becomes its own thing, it's actually a decent.
It's
inclusion.
really fucking dark. It's the Empire Strikes Back with the Back to the Future trilogy.
There was a DeLorean at Comic Con.
Yeah.
Did it go back in time?
No, there was a dude with long wispy white hair that was supposed to be Doc Brown.
It wasn't.
It just wasn't. And like some man, it's like a fucking 60-year-old guy that was obviously supposed to be McFly.
What?
But like, he just looked so fucking weird.
He's
Like,
trying to be Marty.
yeah, like he was dressed like him, but it was an old dude.
He's an old dude, yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, it was weird. Like, they were also selling like Marty's hat from the future, which was really cool.
What's Cowboy at?
No,
They were selling
it's a
the
pass. It's a pass.
Sorry.
They were selling
I
the
forgot
stalls
how time
having
worked.
it as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of the stalls had Marty's future Nikes. Which
Oh,
was fucking
brilliant, man.
amazing.
Bloody hoverboards kicking about.
Money.
They weren't for sale. They were just like,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
we're just showing these. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Um,
there you go.
a guy called Andy Muschietti who you may remember directed Mama,
Yeah,
which was alright.
I thought that was decent.
He is. I think he was also happening. Apparently, they're making Josh Trank, the guy that did Chronicle, and then is now going to do Fantastic Four and one of the Star Wars prequels. He was originally slated to do a Shadow of the Colossus movie,
Oh, okay.
which I didn't even know about.
Okay.
But now because he's busy doing other stuff.
How,
Is that a game?
how
Yeah.
can you make a movie out of
Yeah,
Shadow
I know.
of the
But, I
Colossus?
know.
Quite
Okay.
easily, you
Oh,
can distill that game down into a movie. quite
Right,
easily.
Andy Muschietti's taking over this. But yeah, like Laura said, there's not much of a story to that game.
There is quite a lot of the story. It just doesn't tell it in the way that a Western audience is kind of used to.
But that's what's so
so
good about
much
the
of
game
it
is
inferred.
like how.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so inferred that.
You could distill it down to an hour and a half film. You could
But
totally do it.
would that is it in any way going to get across what's so good about the game?
No,
Yeah, so
because what's good about the game is the fact that you get to climb up gigantic beasts
Yeah.
and stab them in the face.
Oh, yeah, I've seen you play that. Yeah.
With that awesome music in the background.
yeah, it's all about it's like a very visual, atmospheric game.
Yeah.
One of the main themes of the game is solitude and
Yeah.
loneliness.
Yeah. And then
So-
getting to the end and thinking am
Why
I
the
doing
fuck
the right
did
thing
I do
here?
that?
Yeah.
Is that why you love it?
It's fucking
It's
excellent.
brilliant. It's a
It's-
fantastic game, but it's not. It doesn't need a movie.
Yeah, I just imagine they'll have
So the themes of solitude and loneliness, I was like, I can see why you like that, man. You really want people
There's-
to leave you alone.
there's two characters for the whole game.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, there's the princess who's asleep for the whole time.
Yeah. Well, she's dead.
There's the horse.
So- Yeah.
And
I
then,
know.
And then there's and then
There's
there's
the boy,
Wonder.
there's the horse,
Wonder.
the princess.
And then-
There's the god,
Yeah. Dornan.
Dornan.
There's also the captain and all his henchmen that
Yeah.
are coming to get you as well.
Yeah. But you can't
Every 2 or 3 colossi that you kill, you get a wee cutscene showing you that the captain's getting
get closer. There's no what they're gonna do is they're gonna be like, yo, there's this kid, but his girlfriend's dead. But they're just gonna be starting at the tribe, and then they're gonna say that the colossi attacked the tribe, but they don't, and it's just gonna be stupid.
No, I think it's going to do.
It's
the
gonna be
whole-
stupid, man.
I think it's going to start off showing you them sacrificing the girl in
Yeah.
the village and him stealing her. It'll be like a big action set piece of him getting away with the horse and so on.
Then it'll probably end with him having a tearful moment looking at the last Colossus and being like, oh, why you could.
Is that him?
Yeah,
Is that him?
That's the Colossus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Vin Diesel as the Colossus. As all of them.
Well, we don't speak.
Yeah, but in the movie, the little tear running down the side as you kill the last
And
one.
he's going, why?
Yeah.
And Dorman's nah in that.
That total I Am Legend moment, where everybody cried and the dog died. It'll be the same when Agro falls off a cliff. They'll be like, Agro!
Why does it fall off a cliff?
Because you're running across a big stone bridge,
Yeah.
and the bridge is falling to pieces while you're doing it.
Is it one of those
Just-
ones
Just as
like
you're
that?
just as you get to the end of the bridge, it's quite clear that you're not going to make it at the speed it's going. So it kind of fucks you off, that kind of thing.
It
And you make
sacrifices
it,
himself
yeah,
for
you
you.
make it, and it falls. It's
Dead.
well, it doesn't actually die. Spoiled.
What happens to it?
It falls into a river, then just at the end of the game you see it limping.
Yeah.
Close call, right?
Yeah, it falls 200.
Yeah, exactly. Be dead. It'd be fucking dead.
Yeah.
So,
Just
Legs
stop
would be
making
crushed.
stop making the Shadow of the Colossus movie and give me the fucking Last Guardian that you promised me.
I think it'd be the same team.
I don't care. Just give them the money to make the Last Guardian. I want that bird dog thing. That
A
thing
lot,
would
a
cool.
lot of people do.
I don't even know what that is.
Mm.
Last Guardian.
You don't want to know, Tommy. You're
Oh,
too
man.
narrow-minded, and
Oh, no,
You're close
oh,
enough for
wait.
that.
Is it one
it
of those?
doesn't have a gun. Therefore, it's irrelevant to you.
Does it have
It doesn't
that?
have a gun or a football.
Or a fatality.
Does it have that camp wolf dog with lace flowers? Was it Konami? Is that what it's called?
Or can he?
You shut your mouse, Tommy Ross.
My mouse.
Your mouse.
Uh,
Shut
so-
your mouse.
All of them.
All the mice.
So after
Game's dumb.
It's not dumb. Shut up.
This is super Japanese.
It's just dumb.
So after what seems like years of
We can't be friends, Tommy.
after what seems like years of The Rock hinting at stuff about DC and
Yeah,
superhero and that,
It's Black Adam.
he's finally he's been cast as someone called Black Adam in the Shazam movie.
This is
Okay.
See the conversation we had in the car, about how people of our generation kind of thing that have grown up with the Marvel movies just kind of know these things.
Yeah.
You know who Doctor Strange is.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know who Doctor Strange is. I know he's a magician. I'm sorry, he looks like a magician, and that's pretty much it. Like, this is another one of those things where I have no idea who Black Adam
Yeah,
is.
but
But now I know he's kind of like the anti-Shazam. But I also don't know who Shazam is.
Like, I was speaking much more specifically about Marvel when I was saying that. Like, you know.
Do you know who Black Adam is?
Nah. Well, I mean, I do now because
you should. Well, you should because you've now got that like fucking encyclopedia that your friend gave you.
It's a Marvel encyclopedia.
Oh,
That's a Marvel thing.
It's not DC.
No, it's
No,
not
it's
easy.
easy.
Is it?
Pay attention.
God. Right, tell her to get the other one. Get the DC one, so both.
And then give it to me.
Yeah, give it to you, so we'll both, and we'll then be able to look up who the fuck's this guy.
So Shazam is like the kind of arch nemesis of
Yeah.
What?
Shazam is the arch nemesis of Black Adam.
Black Adam's the bad guy.
Yeah, but like I don't know either of them.
I don't know.
Well-
If The Rock's playing him, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything. Like,
It's gonna be
Shazam.
enormous.
Shazam seems so like lame. Like his name is Shazam.
All I can just think of is the Shaquille O'Neal movie.
Yeah,
Cat,
yeah.
when
Was
he
it, is it
says
Kazam? Is that what that one's called?
Because I
Is
am
it G?
dead. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Fucking hell. 90s fucking movies, man.
Did you ever play Shaq?
I did play
We might be
Shaq.
spoken with this in
That was
show.
so
They get a sequel to it.
And
But he wants a
He
sequel.
was in Steel as well, which is really bad.
He also released a rap album.
He did, yeah.
Oh my
One
God.
song was called "Tell Me How My Ass Tastes."
Super.
Yep.
Do we come to an answer?
It's up to the listener. He's
Ooh,
directing
that's
it
it,
to the listener.
It's
Yeah.
ambiguous.
That's the best kind
Because
of
that's
what-
ambiguous.
I'm gonna take a random stab in the dark here and guess that it smells or tastes like shit. Maybe it's an ass.
Thanks. Thanks for that update.
Thanks, Captain
always
Obvious.
count on the scientific atheist
Yeah.
pathos to deliver that.
That's why I'm here, bro.
Also speaking of black superheroes, Stan Lee kind of said
He's
that
not black.
he said that a Black Panther movie is in the works.
Okay.
Because he was talking about, it's like, oh well, you know, we've got Ant-Man and Doctor Strange and Black Panther. They're all being made. I don't know the rest of them. I'm not allowed to talk about them. Someone's like, you're not supposed to talk about Black Panther either. Apparently.
Stan fucking Lee. Do what he wants.
I do what I want. Why is
He
there
made
not?
all those.
Why is there not a Black Widow movie? Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Come on,
They really should.
Marvel. Come on.
Black Panther. A lot of,
Who's
What?
gonna play that?
well, there's a lot of good young black actors out
So
there.
all I think of it when you say Black Panther, like,
Tell me
even though,
what to
Is it
do.
the Black
no, no,
Panther?
even though like I know it's not the same character, I just can't shake the image of the Panther in my head. It's in like
Yeah.
Billy Zane.
The purple jumpsuit
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Wait,
Wait,
that's
wait,
the-
no,
No,
that's the
Phantom.
Phantom.
That's
Oh,
the
sorry.
Phantom.
Yeah.
Right, the Panther.
No, the Panther is a Panther is a
yeah.
thing.
Billy Zane, the Panther.
No.
What is the Panther?
I don't know. Now I'm just confused.
I.
Does he have a
Oh,
Panther?
back it.
Does Billy Zane in the Phantom?
No one's giving up.
I don't know what
No.
I'm supposed to be looking up. I don't know what any.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. There is a superhero called the Panther.
There's a movie called The Phantom,
There's a movie
which
called
Billy
The
Zane was in.
Phantom, yeah.
It was a superhero movie in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
And he,
There was a cartoon, and it was
Yeah.
called Phantom 2014 or something. No,
No.
24/7.
you're wrong.
And it was fucking awesome. It was better than the film.
Denzel is Black Panther.
Someone just asked him about it and he's like, I think I'm too old, but I'd be up for
What
it.
is
I'm
that?
really old.
It's like, man, it's like black superhero. It's called the Black Panther.
Denzel.
Who are we gonna get? Phone Denzel.
I'd watch that.
He's not available. Will Smith? Nope, he's not available. You know, it's like
Wesley Snipes.
no.
No.
Not available.
He's
Daniel
been late.
Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I bet there is like just a list in like every major
What,
studio
Black
office.
Hollywood?
Yeah.
Like black actors,
Female
women actors.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's like Emma Stone. Is she available? No.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Now it's like, oh, we need a young black dude like Lee Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
As long as Jaden Smith isn't
It's
on
like,
that list,
will we
I'm
kill Jade
okay.
Smith?
Yeah. Oh, we'll give it a go. Oh, we couldn't get him. Sorry, Will.
Yeah, Will's on the phone just like, well, what's that? Like, no. We gave him a movie.
Yeah, we're hitting a tunnel. Sorry. Why does it always happen?
It's like it's a Skype conversation. Like, I'm losing you.
I watched My Neighbor Totoro with Laura and some other folk this week. First time I've ever seen it. Second time I've ever seen an anime movie.
I was unaware that it was on at that time.
Right. So you claim that you don't like anime.
Climb.
I don't claim that, no. I just
Yeah,
hadn't ever seen it.
Because I was going to say, like, if this is the second one you watched and you like this one, that's a 100% record for liking anime.
What was the first one?
Doesn't
I
like.
never,
No,
sorry,
Princess
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Which I like. Mononoke, it was like, it was the same with Totoro. Like, it was good. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I still don't think it's my kind of thing, but like, I don't think it was bad. Like,
This is
like,
judging of Disney.
You feel like both times you've just hit an exception
no, like,
to an
like
unwritten rule.
it's like I still don't feel like you should go out of my way to see any more of them because like if someone puts it in front of me, I'll watch it and I'll go like, yeah, that's really good. It was well written and it looked beautiful, obviously.
You're never gonna have a day where it's like, okay, on Saturday I'm gonna watch 3 animes.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, you would do that.
Doesn't
That sounds like fucking
I'm not
awesome.
offended.
Like I wouldn't do that either. But if Paco's like, oh man, do you want to watch Howl's Moving Castle? And I was like, okay, I've never seen it.
It's like if someone gives me like
Yes.
a racing game, I can have fun while I'm playing it. I can think, yes, it's a really well made one. You know, like I can see why people like this. Clearly, it's a good version of what it is. And while I'm playing it, I'll enjoy it.
So what you're saying?
I'll never want to go
what you're
back to it.
saying
Let's
is
see, like,
watching anime movies is like playing a racing game.
Jeff on last week's Giant Bomb,
Uh-huh.
he summed this up perfectly though. It's like the main like disadvantage that anime has is that people think that it is a genre when it's not. It is just a way of like a certain.
It's
they
a
may
type,
all
it's
do
not-
a
yeah,
storytelling.
it's
The same kind
It's
of
not-
problems with animation, just as
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has.
It's just like, because the reason we're talking about it in the podcast is because Dan loves Metal Gear Solid. But, like, he refuses to even acknowledge that anime might be something that he will like, and he's almost like
I feel
afraid
like
to
Metal Gear
watch it.
Solid
Yeah.
is quite like
It's like
anime.
Jeff
He's in
keeps saying to him-
denial. He's like,
Jeff keeps saying to him that is an anime. He's
Yeah.
like, no, it's just a really good action movie. And Jeff's like, that's your movie. That's when Metal Gear, like, he's just. That's what he claims that like someone watched Rambo and made a really good action movie game. But yeah, it's like that is it. Like anime is just the fact that it's animated. That's it. Like there's so many different
Genres
genres
of
within
anime.
that. It's like every genre of movie you can think of, there is an anime that is of that genre.
But there is a style to them. Like they're kind of told at a slower pace, and it doesn't really. Well, the two I've saw that.
I think
like,
that-
Well,
think
you saw Ghibli films.
You saw Ghibli
Ghibli
movies.
yeah.
That's a type of Ghibli does have certain tropes.
Yeah,
And
I feel
anime
like
overall
you're
has certain
judging, I
tropes.
suppose, like all kids' films on Pixar, for
Yeah.
example, or on DreamWorks. They
Yeah.
kind of give a
Or all movies in general on Quentin Tarantino's work.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you-
I liked them. I thought they were
Yeah,
good.
you've only really experienced an anime in like an hour and a half. There's like movie anime, which is completely different from series anime, which is just like 50 episodes minimum of story that's just like.
Varied, like sometimes
Varied.
like that.
Sometimes
the-
good,
One of the
sometimes
big problems with it though is that there is a lot of shit.
Filler, there's
to
a
wade
lot
through.
of there's a lot
That's
of
true
filler.
with everything. You know, but, like
I think I actually enjoy My Neighbor Totoro.
I thought it was good. Like I was amazed it came out the year I was born. It looks great. Like I like how. So and this one, like if it's just like a still image of like a background, it just looks like a painting. Like it looks like you can see the brushstrokes almost.
Where is my Blu-ray?
I've got it.
Right, cool.
I thought like the characterization of the two sisters was so good. Like it's something like just the way the little sister would just run around and repeat everything her older sister said. It was like
So what's the film about?
it's about two little girls and their dad who move to like I don't I
They
Yeah.
basically moved to rural Japan to get away from the war effort.
oh I wasn't aware that was
It's set during World War II.
I thought it was I didn't even know that. I thought it was maybe present day.
So it's like they move away, like to try and kind of just.
I thought they were
honestly, like, the
Mother.
the
I thought
mothers-
they were moving closer to the hospital because their
Is that
mother
what
was
it
in
is?
hospital.
Yeah.
Am I getting mixed up with Grave of the Firefly?
You're
Right,
getting
so-
no, you're getting mixed with the grave.
It's not like
Basically,
the war's
it's about
following them.
no, it's about a mum, a dad, two sisters, one older, one younger.
4 and 8.
Mai's about 4. Satsuki is about 9, 8 years old. Moved to the country because
The mum's sick.
their mum's sick in hospital. You don't know why she's sick. She's just sick.
Yeah.
It's like it's nothing life threatening or so you
Cold
think.
or something.
So they move, and basically it's just them dealing with their mum not being there, and Mai, who's the youngest, discovers Totoro, who is a forest spirit, and it's just about their adventures with Totoro and their kind of daily life. It's a very sweet.
Does he speak?
No, Totoro doesn't speak.
Kinda.
Well,
He
he
makes noises
makes noises.
with his mouth.
Fucking adorable.
He is. He's a big fluffy tree spirit, and it's all about just their interactions with Totoro and just their daily life.
They
And
just
it's,
like hang out and play.
yeah, they hang out. Mai's the first one to discover Totoro, and Satsuki's kind of like, who's this guy? She
Was
wants.
he an imaginary friend?
You don't know.
You
That's the
don't
thing.
know.
You don't know. Like,
But the fact that both of them see him
yeah.
makes you kind of think.
But you don't know if that's just them using that as a
Playing a
coping
game.
mechanism or playing a game. But their dad is like one of the coolest dads because he just accepts that his kids have met a tree spirit, like a forest spirit, and he's like, "Yeah, cool."
Take it. Can he see the? Can he
No,
see
he can't see. The kids are the only people that can see Totoro, and it's very sweet. It is very childish. It is a kids' movie because it's seen through the eyes of the kids.
Like, there's no real plot. to
There
speak
isn't a
of.
plot, it's just kind of what's happening in the movie, and it's really nice. It's really incredibly, as Alan said, well animated for like a movie that's 26 years old. It's all ambiguous, like whether or not Totoro is real, whether or not the kids are dead, whether or not the mum's dead. It's all very up in the air, and it's up to you to decide what you want from this movie.
Cat bus.
Cat bus, motherfucking cat bus.
Did you know, like, the cat bus, like, the scene of them in the rain at the bus stop,
I-
like, all these are really iconic.
I saw that as the cover of the poster, and I knew cat bus as a word,
Yeah.
and I
That's
assumed it was
super
like a
great.
big bus that was
Yeah.
also a cat. And
Is
yes,
it
that's what it
French
was.
spectacular?
Yeah.
Is it iconic because it's not Totoro kind of? Does he not like cuddle them and keeps the rain off them? Or
Well, he
something?
gives them an umbrella.
No, they give him
They give him an
umbrella.
umbrella.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
like,
he's got a leaf on
He's
his
got a
head.
leaf, and they give it's basically just the iconic image is this Mai on Satsuki's back with an umbrella, and Satsuki gives Totoro an umbrella, and they're just kind of standing at the bus stop waiting
and
for
then
a
like
dash to turn
he
up.
starts
But then, like,
freaking out about it, and then
he
the cat bus
loves-
shows up, and they're like, LSD.
He loves the noise of the
He
rain on the
does,
umbrella.
so he
And you see him
jumps.
smiling, and then he jumps. And it's one of those things where to describe it, it just
It's
sounds.
super cute.
Yeah.
And it's very cute, it's very happy, it's very uplifting. If you're not smiling, you're dead inside. It was originally a double bill with the movie which Paco was talking about,
Grave of
Grave of
Fireflies.
Fireflies, which is one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen.
Was Totoro formed specifically
It
to
was
be released as, like, a
the two
Yes.
of
palate
them.
cleanser?
The two of them. One of them, I think it was Grave of the Fireflies, is the one they wanted to release.
Yeah,
But I think like Studio Ghibli weren't sure if it'd be like a commercial success, so like they only gave the guy permission to make it if he would do one that was more palatable at the same
Yeah.
time. So he made Totoro as like a kind of
Look, we can, this
Yeah.
is fun and fluffy and happy.
so,
and,
but like they couldn't be any more different.
Yeah,
but at the
no,
same
absolutely.
time, though, they fit together really well as like a double bill because like
yeah.
they've
You
got
need-
similar themes, but like they just have the complete opposite.
You need that
End of the spectrum,
after watching Grave of Fireflies, you need that uplifting light. Life is good, life is fair, rather than
I mean, like Grave of the, have you seen Grave of the Fireflies?
oh, excuse me, I haven't. No, I know some
What
of the
kind of
bigger
roughly what
scenes
happens,
in
yeah.
a pretty horrible film.
Yeah, like well, the horrible stuff that happens at the end of that. Like there's parts where if you just watch that, then you watch My Neighbor Totoro. Like, there's a bit in it where like the little sister goes missing, and like, they
Yeah.
find her shoe. Like just coming out of
Really?
Grave of the Fireflies, you'd be like, fuck,
Great,
you know,
yeah.
just yeah.
I'm out.
That's
Yeah.
it. Like, it's a really good movie. It's
That's-
definitely worth
yeah,
it.
it's
We spoke about it earlier this year.
Yeah, it's
Actually.
definitely worth watching, but I feel that as much as I love Totoro is kind of held as the standard of what Studio Ghibli is. People kind of misconceptions of Studio Ghibli comes from Totoro, that they think it's a kids fun-friendly studio and it's light and fluffy and that's what all anime is. And you're just, I felt it's very unfair to tar Studio Ghibli with this magnificent brush that Totoro is. It's like a complete contrast. Like Princess Mononoke is one of the most violent anime movies I've seen in a long time. People get decapitated with arrows and all sorts of shit. So Studio Ghibli is so much more than cute, fuzzy fun for kids. It's just
Totoro is just like a hug.
it is a big
It's
warm
just-
hug.
Like,
And everybody
from
needs a big
from the
one.
moment he appears on screen, though, where like the girl accidentally falls down a hole onto his stomach, and then like she looks up in his like massive eyes as he takes like a huge breath and just exhales and smiles, and you're like,
And goes back to sleep. And you're just
yeah,
like, yeah.
instantly you're like, I want that to happen to me. Like, yeah, I would love to be in that situation.
It's everybody should watch it. It's definitely a fantastic introduction to the art form of anime. it's really, really good fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will make people want to watch more. Not necessarily, even if it's just more Ghibli movies, that will get you a kind of wide variety of what the genre is, and then you can kind of dip your toe into Ghost in the Shell and all the philosophical techno mumbo jumbo that happens, and it's a wide array of stuff, and it really upsets me when people are just dismissive of it.
Yeah.
It's like me being dismissive of Quentin Tarantino, that fucking rambling hack, just like, no, he's, although Quentin Tarantino is a fucking idiot.
Fair enough. Criticise the person all you want because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does make good movies.
Yeah.
He does make, that's the thing.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Can I talk briefly about another anime before we move on?
Not really.
No?
No, like in around 10 minutes, we've still got like 5 films to talk about.
Speed round.
Laura wants to hear it.
I don't mind. We'll talk about it later.
I don't think anyone wants to.
We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
We've got
Save it for next week.
one last news segment, then we need to do speed round of movies.
I'm waiting to talk about that because I know Joan Rivers died. I know Laura seems like her.
I did.
She was like an important woman in comedy.
Yeah, she worked hard.
She worked
up
hard.
to
The last minute.
But yeah, very related to life.
Controversial.
She was incredibly
Continues.
controversial. You can either take her or leave her. She opened a lot of doors.
It's just like every week it seems that there's another really famous
It feels like
important person that died.
for it. Yeah.
This year's Oscars is going to be ridiculous tribute, man.
You go and watch Totoro to cheer yourself up if you're really bummed out about Joan Rivers being dead. I saw a picture of her when she was like in her 20s, like different person.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, because she's more plastic than she was
Yeah,
person,
yeah,
like
yeah.
in the later days, and she would tell you that herself.
Right, Paul, you saw a movie called Obvious Child.
Obvious Child is a American low-budget comedy film, I suppose, kind of dealing with serious issues. Not quite mumblecore. It doesn't seem to be particularly sort of improvised. Mumblecore is the kind of drinking buddies type, like
Basically, minimal budget, kind of almost amateur, like
and like a lot of very
real life.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like a dumb, horrible
Alright, okay.
word for.
Sorry, I'm just amazed by that thing. Okay.
And it's based around Jenny Slate, who she does like loads of different bit part comedy things in various TV shows I've watched over the years. Specifically, we Parks and Rec. She plays Ben Schwartz's sister, Mona Lisa, and she plays this kind of stand-up comedian in New York City who's struggling to make it. Oh, I wonder where does the idea come from? She is her boyfriend's broken up with her. She kind of has this slightly awkward one-night stand with a guy. And ends up getting pregnant from it, and the film's following her deciding to get an abortion, and it's kind of it's quite an interesting.
As Bago said, a laugh riot. But
And kind of her dealing with the issue through her comedy, and sort of she never plans to see the father again, and sort of through the magic of cinema, he keeps following back into her life through various coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I thought like Jenny Slate specifically carried like a really, really great performance, hitting like a lot of the big emotional beats when she finds her strength. Yeah. Being able to carry the brevity of the choice, and like I think we've spoken about it, or at least I have the like abortion whenever it's kind of brought up, like either abortion immediately thrown out the window as a choice in movies because how dare you kill a life? That's not.
It's never a viable option.
And if it does happen, it's always then played out as it's either scarred the woman or she has to die during the surgery. Like
there's a consequence to it.
Yeah. It's never just like, oh, this is like a difficult choice we would have to make, but you
She
can
makes it and then just gets on.
you can just live on with your life, and it's basically this is like the movie, which is kind of the ABC of here's what it's actually like in real life. And specifically, the father figure kind of comes into it quite late on, and she's waiting, do I tell him, do I not? And eventually she does, and it becomes almost an instruction manual for like, hey guys, if you're ever in this situation, this is how you should behave. Just be like a nice person, just be a good person. And so it sort of becomes.
That's how I felt after my abortions.
And so it sort of becomes a little bit, as I say, almost instruction manually, but for a story that probably hasn't ever been told, at least not that I'm aware of, but who knows, I'm not exactly searching out abortion comedies.
That's a genre right there.
Yeah. Do you know what's kind of that for a bit? She weighs
it up, yeah.
Almost.
But it was really, really good. It was funny. A lot of like entertaining side characters, very strong performances. I would recommend it, I suppose. That's a very quick review for you.
Cool. Tommy and Paul both saw the box trolls.
And the guest. But
Let's talk about the box trolls first.
This is one I'm excited about seeing.
Okay. The Box Trolls is from Latka, the makers of Paranorman and Coraline. Paranorman is a fucking just tremendous piece of cinema. So I was very excited to see Box Trolls. And yeah, like Latka, it lived up to expectation. It's not as good as Paranorman, but it is good.
Is that though because Paranorman has had time to become important to you, kind of thing?
I think Paranorman, when I've seen it, like the first time I seen it, I was like, I can't fucking believe how good that was. How was this film kind of gone under my radar? With Box Trolls, I was like, no, it's a different story. But like within 5 minutes of what happens, I already figured out the whole plot. And it's not a bad thing because it's like a kind of age-old story that they're telling. But it's just really good. It's a pleasure to look at. Like the animation style by Latka is fucking excellent. The characters are all good.
Does it have the same kind of like good cast as Paranorman?
Yeah, there's loads of names.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg is he's only in it for like a tiny bit. Who else?
Nick
Frost. Ben Kingsley's the bad guy. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, like he was the one who
I thought that was David Williams.
You know, like I've been talking the day before I saw it about how like Ben Kingsley was in 30 Rock, I think, going back to another episode, and like being like, like, is that a big deal when you get Ben Kingsley who fucking will shell himself out for anything? Yeah. And then he puts in this brilliant performance.
When Ben Kingsley's good,
he can be
great.
Yeah.
So,
but like. The plot's great. Like just in terms of the way it starts off, like the whole idea of like it starts off with like the Box Trolls have stolen a kid. It's just but it's set in this world where Box Trolls are a thing, but usually they just take stuff and they like invent stuff but they've kidnapped a kid. So therefore this.
Was that by accident?
But again, like, they kidnap a kid. And then this guy called Catcher, this
Archibald Snatcher,
who's Ben Kingsley's name, Ben Kingsley's character, then goes to like the mayor and says, "Look, this has happened. I want to get rid of all the Box Trolls, but I'll only do it if I can have."
If I can become a part of the aristocracy.
Yeah, but the way they do it is really great. Like, it's because he wants a white hat.
Yeah.
He wants a white hat?
Yeah, because like the mayor, like played by Jared Harris, it's like him and 3 other folk are part of this elite group of folk who get to sit in a room and try all kinds of different cheeses, and that's seen as like that's just seen as like that's like the greatest honor and like the richest thing you could do.
So he wants to be part of the cheese club.
He wants to be part of the cheese club
tasting room.
But Jared Harris is not really keen on that.
That's kind of similar to what was it called? Pirates and Adventure with Science. It's all about
some of those like
species.
Some of those like fun ideas you could definitely see like Aardman have them and Black have them, but so he wants to do that and he says, right, okay, if you get rid of the Box Trolls, then that's fine. And then it kind of like
spends 10 years doing it.
It spends 10 years like chasing down the Box Trolls, but the whole time like they've got this kid down there and they're just raising him as their own, and his name is Eggs. Purely because he's got the box that says eggs on it. It's the same as like his.
Man, does he pretend to be a Box Troll?
Yes. No, he thinks he's a Box Troll.
Yeah!
And
I want to see this right now.
You're going to come out with it beating your chest and just excite.
Yeah, that's great. Anytime the Box Trolls are happy, they just beat their chest and it's like, and he does it as well. But so it's like Eggs is like the wee boy, and then the Fish is the one that was kind of raising them, and then there's it's like anything that's on their box, that's their name.
Oh, cool.
And the Box Trolls can't really talk, but Eggs can understand them, and he speaks kind of at times broken English and whatever, but it's just really good. So the whole idea is you're trying to find out what this guy Archibald Snatcher is really up to, and has the whole kidnapping been a misunderstanding? And like Jared Harris's daughter, she doesn't really pay.
Winnie or something.
Yeah, Kurt. What's her name? Fuck, I can't remember her name actually, but she's like, she just wants her dad to like pay attention to her, but he's too busy like eating cheese with the socialites. He doesn't really listen to her because she's a kid.
And like you can hear all the kind of, as Tommy said, like a lot of very similar tropes you can already sort of attribute to other films and other.
But when you watch it, it's just really good. I mean, I was laughing a lot. It was slow for a bit, and then
you're doing like a DMX thing just now.
Am I?
X gonna give me 2 years.
Oh, I don't know. I just am comfortable sitting like this.
Cross their arms.
Yeah, but it was a bit slow at points, but more for like that's the only thing I've got a nitpick about that, and the story's very it's very kind of cliched by the books. Like come the end, you're like, oh well. I mean, as I said, within 5 minutes of the start, I already figured out what was happening. But yeah, Richard Ayoade's in it, Nick Frost, Ben Kingsley, Simon Pegg,
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan's in it. His character's really funny. He doesn't really say a lot, but when he does his
that's the best thing about it.
But yeah, no, check it out. It's definitely just it's a cracking effort.
Any criticisms of it?
You just said.
It was a bit long, and the story was a bit cliched, but other than that, it's fine. You totally get sucked into this little world. You kind of want to be there as well because the box trolls look like the funnest people. They just look like really adorable characters that they just kind of go about their business building stuff and like I guess borrowing things.
They're like the borrowers kind of.
They're kind of right. They come up and they take stuff and they make
Like underpants gnomes.
Kind of yeah.
Do you know like for very early on when kind of the film started, advocate like it kind of starts with them, what are the misunderstood? Let's watch them borrow and stuff, and it was like like these guys have been inspired by the Minions. Like they've been really like it's just they've looked and went, how can we do our version of making toys?
Yeah.
How can we make money? But yeah, the film goes on and they become more than that, and they're like really lovable, nice characters who aren't played in the same for the same type of comedy. It's not huge like slapstick sets.
There's oh god, it's just like little adorable bits. Like, do you remember when Eggs when they first take him and he's just a kid and Fish is showing him how to play instruments and listen to music, and then at the end when they're at the end of the day when they're all going to sleep, the box trolls all box up and they just make like a wee cradle for him. And he's in the middle of it. Like, oh my god, fucking hell, that's it. Like
tugging on them old heartstrings.
They just do it properly. You're like, that's like I care about these characters. I care about these characters. This is a good story. It gets a bit grim at times. You're like, holy shit, and it's over. It's just got all those elements to like how a good story should be told.
Is this a more accessible movie than Paranorman?
It's not as scary as Paranorman.
Yeah,
like, kids could watch this and not cry because
a lot of kids didn't like Paranorman because it was scary.
It's pretty scary, and I think
a lot of wimpy kids didn't like Paranorman.
I think they didn't like it, but also Paranorman, again, an amazing story, but I think the box trolls will be better for kids because
it's an easier story, but it carries with it like the same kind of. I mean, one of the great things about Paranorman was kind of that everybody was a little bit wrong, or both sides were a little bit wrong, that kind of, and it definitely carries over in this. That all the characters have their motivations. Everyone's a wee bit.
Paranorman seems to have like a kind of family feel, like together with a team, and that it seems like from what you're saying, box trolls.
Oh yeah, has
there a big family motif in there as well, which is what's the company called again?
L-E-I-K,
Leica.
So
Leica's movies always have a moral to them, like a very much not a in-your-face like Disney moral, but there's always like an undercurrent of like either being yourself and like acceptance. Like Coraline is based on a Neil Gaiman book. It's one of the creepiest movies, like animated movies, in a long time, and it was all about kind of accepting yourself and kind of just being your own person.
See, that's awesome. That's the sort of stuff that I think should be getting made.
Yeah,
I love Paranorman.
It's teaching kids the right lessons.
And it's giving such great, pure lessons through such ugly animation. It's brilliant. It's such a great kind of clever.
So Paranorman had like loads and loads and loads of cultural references to do with horror movies and stuff. Does that carry over? Like, is there like
I don't know about cultural references, but it's like
it had the tubular bells, it had like Jason's mask, like all that sort of stuff.
There's maybe at one point there's maybe a reference that you kind of think, oh, is this going to be kind of like Frankenstein? And the reason for that is because, as I said, Archibald Snatcher really wants to join the elite and become like a cheese man.
That name is fucking great.
But what's really funny is he can't eat cheese because he's
allergic.
Is he lactose intolerant?
He's allergic to it, and he gets but he still eats it regardless. And like what Paul's saying, even though he's the bad guy, this is like his life ambition because he wants to be accepted by the elite. And then like as the story plods along, comes along to the end, you're just like, this is fucking great because you've made me care about this guy even though he's bad.
And that's like he wants to better himself in a system which is completely rigged against him ever being allowed to do it. So it's sort of like, that's super shit.
An underdog.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll do bad things. I'll do bad things to get what I want, and what he wants is such a silly thing. It's like there's a great bit when Janet Harris talks about like the mayor. I don't even know the name of the place.
It's some kind
Is
of
it in-
cheese
It's
pun or
Cheesington
something.
Is it not
or
in,
something
like,
like that.
France or something?
No,
Yeah.
it's like it's some cheese pun. I can't
Right.
remember what it's called, but there's a bit where like Jared Harris is saying, well, we were going to spend all this money on like a children's
Or
hospital,
something, yeah.
but instead we spent all this. This is this massive wheel of cheese called the Behemoth.
The
The Behemoth, and it's brilliant because at one point they lose it and his
I
pals
wasn't
to go
very
get
good.
it. But it's excellent. Just go. I won't say any more. Just go watch it. It's very fun. Very fun. It's worth it.
So Paul, why did you see Bill this week?
Uh,
Was it about a month ago?
No, it's
Longer than that?
way back ago, yeah, like way back here. Genuinely, kind of halfway through the year, a couple of people's lists, like top 5, whatever the year so far, Bale turned up on a couple of them, which I thought was strange because like it was something which
Kind of.
Kind of skin and went.
Yeah.
I wasn't really bothered about.
Anfield.
So I kind of thought, like, let's go and see it. I saw 12 Years a Slave. Let's go and.
Is that the
continue.
sister piece to
Yeah,
12
yeah.
Years a Slave?
Well, like a little bit, like it really genuinely kind of.
Chris, was that this
As
year?
in-
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
genuine.
As in it's old and for racism.
I mean, what else do you want?
It's just like, well, it kind of is a sister piece because.
Well, like it carries like a very different side of that coin, but it does like deal with a whole lot, far more than I kind of expected. This kind of slightly shitty period PC nonsense, rubbishy.
Yeah.
But I don't. Belle is a young girl who is the daughter of a like well-off guy.
An
Thingy,
admiral, I
Matthew
think?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the army and whatever else. He kind of very proudly is like, well, I did this. She's going to be my daughter. She's going to get all the perks of my family and my money and my lifestyle. I need to go off and be in the army though. So, mum, dad, you look after them. And they're kind of going, oh, how dare we don't want to look after this.
But is it that whole thing? It's like, well, she can't do this. She's a black baby.
Yes,
she,
yeah,
She can't live in this
exactly.
mansion.
Yep, yeah.
They're like, what?
And so they kind of go, well, I guess we'll have to put up with her since our dear son wants us to.
So presumably the son had a baby with a black woman.
Yes, with a black woman, yeah.
Had an
And
affair,
who
yeah.
you seem to care for quite a lot, and he seems like a totally decent guy, but really you only see him in the opening kind of.
The opening establishing of
No,
like,
he's a
this
black
one-
baby.
Yeah. And like right at the very end, Matthew Good,
Matthew Good.
Matthew Good's name came up. And it was,
He's good.
He got that. And I
Hey!
was just like, wait, who was he in that? And it was, oh right, okay, I missed him because I blinked.
So keep Papa.
And they kind of the grandparents say, well, we'll say that we've got the son, Matthew Good's brother, has a daughter. So they're like, oh, we'll see it.
Just his
Yeah. Belle is here as just kind of an associate to this company, and basically like a fucking rent a friend. And they grow up, and Belle's kind of increasingly as she grows up becomes aware of the kind of weird social situation that she's stuck in, where she's in the trailer there's a really good line of like I'm not good enough to eat with the family, but I'm too good to eat with the servants. What am I?
Yeah.
And she kind of ends up getting involved with a kind of radical judicial person who wants to be taught by her grandfather, who is like the high king of lawmaking bullshit.
There's a visual title.
Yep, yeah.
High king
And
will make it.
he kind of the overrunning theme is that he has to make a decision about a really horrible incident which happened in the real world, where like a bunch of slaves were thrown overboard on a ship during transport, and the owners claim, oh, it was because we're running low on water, and they're suing the loan company, because the loan company, well, we're not giving you money for that, and the judge has to make a
So it's
decision
like,
on whether or not.
they were like goods and yeah.
Yeah. Do we put a price on a man's head?
Yeah.
And Belle increasingly becomes conscious of this horrible incident, and is kind of playing an influence in what happens and whatever else, and then can she help sway the decision? And yeah, like it just played like a whole lot of like really, really crazy, weird, like because her and her sister, kind of quotation marks, get on so well, and they love each other and they respect each other, and like she defends her, like when kind of there are male suitors who are kind of like, oh, a black girl, and the sister's like, no, she deserves as much respect, until suddenly Belle's the one who's getting interest shown in her, and suddenly she's like, well, why would they love you? And there's just a lot of really interesting just ideas played with in the film.
double
Is it-
standards.
yes, yeah. Like a little bit because it's slightly
It's a little bit.
slightly by the genre of the film, there are like scenes which are they're all kind of played out slightly slowly, and we want to talk about everything, and make all the language very. And I'm kind of like, right, I know where again, like it's slightly predictable, so I know where the scene's going to go. I know that Belle's going to have this revolution, she's going to slap him or whatever. So like, can we just get to the slap, please, instead of having to say,
So basically,
let's get to this
for
point.
you, it should have opened. She should slap the guy. The end.
Yeah.
Maybe,
The
like-
text at the end saying this is what happened. This is
Yeah.
It's just
In the end,
PDF document.
yeah. In the end, she did slap him.
But there are lots of like really, really good moments within it, and like maybe a slightly tighter pacing would have made it an
It's
excellent
got
film.
maybe a
Does anybody get challenged to a duel?
No Jules, I'm sorry.
No guns.
But no, I really did like it. And it would make a good sister piece to 12 Years a Slave because it's old and racist.
Would it make you your top 5
I don't
for this year?
think so, no. But
It is like harrowing and tough to watch as 12 Years a Slave was?
no, but like it's not got the kind of let's watch somebody get whipped.
Right.
It's far more kind of like
Subtle about it.
yeah, exactly. We just want you to kind of sit and think about it.
It's
And a lot of it is like the double standards aren't specifically called out. It's just there for you to be like, oh, this is a super shit situation.
yeah. It's more like with 12 Years a Slave. It's like you're seeing these folk being like hanging from
You
trees.
taste the blood.
And,
Here's my
and
fingers.
yeah,
in my
it's
mouth.
like whipped. Whereas in Belle, it's like you can't sit at the dinner table.
Mm,
Sick.
yeah.
Go sit with them. No, you can't sit with them. It's like it's terrible.
Yeah, it's just a mess.
It's like there's no whipping or blood though. It's just like no pudding for you. So.
Just I teared up. I was just like, oh, she just wants
It's
ice
like
cream.
she just wanted a bit of ice cream. Fucking I took it away from her. That's all she had.
Where's your racism?
Fucking old people, olden times.
I watched Before I Go to Sleep, which stars
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Nicole Kidman.
She likes to overact, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. She's very dramatic. Yeah.
It's her,
Inconsequential.
Colin Firth, and
Colin Firth and Mark Strong, yeah.
I like
Is
Mark
it
Strong.
strong?
All the time, mate.
yeah.
Like his
Mark
hair.
Strong. Are we all in agreement to Mark Strong?
Yeah, he's cool.
Mark Strong.
Awesome.
He needs
Yes.
to be more famous than he is.
He's got a great voice as well.
He's getting there.
But so, you'd be forgiven for seeing the trailer and thinking this was just like Memento again.
That's what I thought it was.
Obviously, it's about memory loss and like short-term memory loss and stuff, and
How is it obvious?
because that's the plot of the
It's,
movie.
yeah, it starts off. I can't remind stuff.
Yep.
Okay, I'll remind you.
I can't even stop.
But like
Where?
I was saying to Tommy, it's much more as if it's like a really dark sequel to 50 First Dates.
The Adam Sandler
Because
movie.
it picks up Nicole Kidman is 40 years old, and every morning she wakes up.
Aye, alright.
Every morning, like her memory resets to like when she's in her early 20s, and she doesn't remember anything since then. So she has to go through the process of being, oh, you were in an accident, and this happened. You don't have any memories. I'm your husband. This is what we do. Blah blah blah. She has to go through it every single morning. And Colin Firth plays her husband, who is very kind of put upon, and like he's always had to live with this for 20 odd years, and you know, for it's new for her every day.
And
But
it's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
It's kind of like
every day for her.
Every day he's like, why do I bother?
yeah.
Why do I bother?
But you know, he sticks with her, and he's always like, "I love you very much," you know. Like,
Can you just start telling Phil stories? They're like fun, just like.
I am a
Well,
magician.
Yeah, exactly. I remember tomorrow, something as well.
Yeah.
So Mark Strong.
I create electricity.
It's like a reverse
Yeah,
Groundhog Day.
So Mark Strong plays her therapist, or neurotherapist.
But
or
he's probably more than that, right?
so it starts out
That
like
face.
they wake up in the morning and Colin Firth's like, "Oh, here's the backstory. You know, this is everything you know."
Here's the blurb.
Like I'm off to work. He has a job. He has to go to work.
I'm
So,
off
like,
to work. I like regular fruit about the house.
Yeah, he's
We've
like
discussed this.
everything's labelled with her name. Everything she's knows. I feel.
This is your milk.
Yeah.
That's my milk. Okay.
Oh yeah. Kind of. So
These are the instructions on how to make the sandwich.
So he goes out, and then the house phone rings, and it's Mark Strong, and he's like, "Oh, this is Dr. Nash. This won't mean anything to you, but every day for the past month or so, I've been calling you, and we're trying to work through your problem. Like if you go to your cupboard, you'll find a box with a camera in it. Open up that camera and look at it, and you've been keeping a video diary for the past month." And so she watches it, and then on the camera is her saying, "Oh, don't trust your husband. You know, he's not telling the truth, or whatever." And she's like, "Oh."
Like, what's
That's
up?
weird.
Yeah.
So then it cuts back to showing you more about her stuff with Mark Strong. Then you're like, oh, but he seems a bit dodgy as well. Like maybe the husband is
He's
the one
Mark
to tell the
Strong.
truth, and he's the one that's out to get her. So that's basically the premise. Like, who do you trust? Who does she trust? She trusts herself. She
Yeah.
trusts these people.
Who do you
And,
trust? The King's Speech or the Barry from Show?
Is she a ghost?
No way, man. Again?
No, I don't want to ruin it, but no, she's not a ghost.
Okay.
But as it goes on, it's a really good, really tight thriller. There's maybe one instance where it gives you a red herring. It's kind of that was clearly put in because you needed an action beat at the hour mark, and it was we need to keep their attention, which was a bit, in retrospect, was a bit you could have done without that. But at the moment, it's all very thrilling and engaging. The last act, when you kind of find out what exactly is going on, kind of becomes a bit too heavy on not action scenes, it's not jumping at a helicopter. But,
Turns out she was lying the whole time.
Mark Strong. I remember everything.
I remember everything. I just thought fuck with you for the whole film.
20 years.
So it's a double joke.
So it kind of unwinds a little bit in the end. The payoff is alright. I guess I didn't really see it coming, but it's one of those things because you, Paco, might see it differently because, I always say, I deliberately don't try and work things out when I'm watching them. I just kind of let it happen. Whereas you would be you'd be watching thinking, no, I'm trying to put all the pieces together. So you might figure it out and think it's.
I was expecting to be offended there. Okay.
No,
You, Paco.
and then the ending is a bit too neat and tidy and a bit too
Boyish.
Yeah, a bit too. Oh, isn't that a nice ending? But while you're watching it, it's very enjoyable.
Okay.
It's suitably thrilling and
Sometimes
engaging.
that's all you need.
Yeah, it's
Side effects was that?
yeah, it's not the kind of thing you're going to go back to, but while you're watching it, you'll
Yeah, have a
enjoy
good time.
it. Yeah.
Who directed it?
A guy who's
Roland Joffe.
Yeah. I didn't recognise.
Did he not do the Adjustment Bureau?
No. That was someone else.
Nice.
I was pressing name. It was someone else in the computer. But yeah, it was based on a really well-selling novel. Oh, The American and 28 Weeks Later.
Brighton Rock as well?
Yes, the guy's done some stuff.
What's Mountain Rock? Brighton Rock.
Brighton Rock.
Mountain Rock.
Okay, so last but not least, Tommy and Paul. So the guest.
Yes, we did. Not together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'll do that someday. But
Well, being that I've already heard what Tommy said about it.
oh, okay.
I've not heard what
the
Tommy said
listeners
about
haven't.
it.
And your opinion's rubbish anyway, Tom.
Go!
Because I know where the conversation's going to go if Tommy starts. So I want Paul to start because it might go somewhere else.
Adam Wingard, Simon Barrett did Your Next. Loved that. Loved this.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, that's why I wanted to start with you because it's kind of different to what Tommy said.
I thought it was really great. I think the guys carry Your Next is about kind of the horror movie sort of not quite pastiche-ish. I don't know, kind of turning on his head, sort of really wild, kind of crazy with a very warped sense of humour to it. And the guest sort of follows that, I suppose, not quite into the same very deep horror genre. But it's a guy turns up at a family who are grieving over a son who was killed while serving over in Afghanistan, yeah. And he claims to have served with the son and was with him when he died. The family are obviously a bit sceptical. We, as the viewer, are obviously incredibly sceptical of this creepy
Dude that just turns up.
Yeah, blue-eyed, beautiful freak of nature.
But yeah, see when I was watching it, I was like, this guy looks like if say Ryan Gosling and Calvin Harris had a baby.
That's so clearly they had written the part with the idea of Ryan
For
Gosling.
Baby Goose and the Baby Goose is like that.
So clearly.
Well, that's my thing is someone's watched Drive and they thought, right, we want you to kind of act like Ryan Gosling in this. We want you to be kind of
yeah, but that's
the intense but kind of
Calm at the
subtle.
same time, yeah.
I think he's supposed to be pretty out and out a kind of psychopath. I don't think it's supposed to be he's sort of a trouble, but I think it's supposed to be kind of mental all the way through. Yeah. Pretty clearly off.
Well, that was that was kind of my problem with when they explain what's going on. I was like, is that it?
But that did you see Your Next?
No.
The beat of Your Next is explained with this super weird you hero of the film, why are you so good at dealing with these serial killers who have come out of nowhere? And she's like, oh, I was raised in a survivalist camp. Boom. And that's it. It's ridiculous and it's kind of
I think
nonsense, but it works just enough that you're like, okay, yep, fine, deal.
And in Your Next, that's so refreshing to have a protagonist
Who can
handle themselves
Yeah.
and isn't an idiot.
And
Alright, I'm totally on your side now.
it has that same kind of explaining we're out. Like it doesn't. The details don't matter. It's not
They
important.
can-
It's just about.
Sometimes for me that they kind of do.
I think this is where me and you differ like hugely on things. Like I'm like all for like ambiguity and stuff, and like
I don't mind that ambiguity. It's just
stuff,
sometimes like if a movie, like for me, The Guest plays out where a lot of things happen, and I'm like, right, why is that happening? And what's the motives here? I mean, it's like when you watch like Halloween, right? I mean, I've said this before. You don't know what Michael Myers is. He's the boogeyman. That's all you need to know, and he does what he does because he's a psycho, and that's it. See, with The Guest, they kind of try and do the same thing in this, and I think there's a bit of a Halloween vibe to it, certainly towards the end, Halloween Shining vibe, because when it started, I didn't realize it was supposed to be a horror movie. It's like see when you see the poster, I thought it was like an action movie or something because it had the guy like holding a gun, he looked like he was protecting a girl, and then when it started, it had all the hot horror movie trailers before it.
Okay.
So then, when the opening titles happened, there's like it's almost like an 80s looking title sequence, and it's like The Guest. And I was like, okay. And then when it started, I was like, right, okay, this guy. He's there's something going on with him, but he looks like he's maybe protecting his family, and then the story continues and it's got like a good soundtrack again, Drive-inspired soundtrack. It's all heavy kind of electro synth.
Apparently, Wingard and Barrett have like one friend who does all of their music, like Your Next.
Is he the synth guy?
Yeah, it's just this crazy guy who collects
Music
full
in Your Next is really good
synthesizers
as well.
and just does.
It's not. Is it Cliff Martinez that did the tunes for Drive? I don't know if it's a guy did this.
That's the end of Drive.
But yeah. But no, I just there's so many times. Again, I suppose you're supposed to be like, you just take it with a pinch of salt. It's the same as like when you watch like a lot of 80s slasher horror movies, and I like them, but it's like you have to take what's going on with it. Like, this is ridiculous, right? But with The Guest, I was like, no, this looked like it was doing all right, but now it's going quite ridiculous to the point where I'm like, no, why is that happening though? No, but it's like
They have like every single, the whole film is based around Halloween for like a month.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're constantly like, oh, Halloween's coming up.
It's like, how long has he been here now?
I don't know. That's how I spend October.
Yeah, exactly. Like
That's how you spend the entire year.
towards the end, one of the sons is like, oh, you're going to be punished for whatever. You have to like go and help set up the Halloween dance. And you get to high school and they have this like fucking funhouse.
It's
theme
like
park Disney World style horror,
but again,
fully functioning.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind
how
of,
it is in
they kind of do
America,
that.
right?
Yeah, they kind of have that. That's for me where the Shining vibe came in it, because there's a maze, and it's like, oh shit, is he here? And someone's gonna get killed, and then it has that whole like indestructible boogeyman kind of thing to it. But again, I was just like, I'm like, I want to know why this guy is doing what he's doing, why he think certain folk are being targeted, and just.
But like,
why is he doing
I mean,
this?
he turned up initially. Like,
And they give you a sense, and I'm like,
but he turned up
Some people
initially.
just want to see the world burn, Tom.
But like, he doesn't. Like, he initially
He's no
turned up
Joker.
for very sincere reasons, and just the longer it goes on, the more things just.
again,
I
though,
never want you guys to
it's
start
like-
talking about this, like,
Yeah.
but again, like,
and specifics of this, like,
Like, I
showing
mean,
the person's motivations is something you should learn by watching the film.
right, yeah, but I mean, I know you want to see the film, so I'll
Which
try.
is Tommy's point, though, is that you don't learn that.
Well, no, my point is like watching it. I was like, there's some good ideas in here. There's some like nice kind of like scenes where oh, that's cool and that's cool. But overall, I was left just unsatisfied because I was like, I think I know what they're going for here, but it's not been enough to justify the direction the film goes, in my opinion. But Dan Stevens, the main actor, he's excellent in it. I was like, that guy is like he's gonna go places because it's like
That's
he's
the Ryan Gosling guy.
yeah, it's like he's channeling Hannibal Lecter and Gosling from Drive, and he's really good at it. But the rest of it was just like what?
I think it's the tone that like raises the film, and I think it's excellent. I think that they have such a good eye for this, just like the same kind of warped comedy, just the really unusual, poking fun at, but also relishing in just the ridiculousness of film, I suppose. And I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really super, and the soundtrack's fucking awesome. Like, there's maybe 5 minutes in, and like the first time, just the boom, 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 and I was like, yes, we're back, good.
So they do that thing where it's almost it's in like Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of the soundtrack is motivated by what Chris Pratt's listened to. It's the same thing in this, except like the troubled sister is she's into synth. She's kind of gothy, but she's into synth electro, and whenever she's listening to a tune, that's the tune that's playing as the thing goes on, especially at the end, because she makes like a mix of this for someone, and they put that on when everything kicks off at the end. I'm like, alright, okay, but still. But hey man, I thought you might like it, but I've not seen your next, but just going into this not knowing anything, not knowing anything about it apart from the trailer, I was unsatisfied and disappointed.
Would you say that unsatisfied feeling is like the same as like when you've got like a carton or Ribena, but the straw doesn't go all the way to the corner to get to the rest of it?
No, it's like having it's like when you have a racing game, right? And you want no, but yeah, that's actually like that doesn't
That's
only
a
about
very
Ribena.
specific
Ribena?
thing.
This happened to you recently? Is like, is this something
Have
you're
you
talking
taken
about?
Ribena?
I bit off the corner part and got the end of it. That's how I solved my problem with this film.
Fair enough, man. Intuition, so even that game there.
Okay, so
Are we done? Can I go home yet?
yeah, also this week was Sex Tape, which no one saw, and
No one cares about.
yeah. Oh, next week, A Most Wanted Man. That's the one, Tommy. You're asking me in the car what's out next week.
The Philip Seymour
No,
Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's.
Is that the John McCarr adaptation?
Yes.
The one which he's going to be a bit part in, and they've marked it entirely around him. That's my bet.
Is that your bet? How much do you know?
You
about
calling it?
Nothing,
So this
nothing
is
at all.
from the dude who made Tinker Tailor Soldier
it?
Spy.
So the guy who
Well,
wrote the book, that both
Well,
are based on.
he did make Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, not the movie, but the thing that's
He
based
wrote
on.
the book, yeah.
Not the same filmmaker.
Okay.
Is the thing.
He's not.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
It's the guy that did Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
Thomas Alfredson, is it?
Well done, you.
And Pride is also out.
Oh,
Those
man.
looks pretty funny.
Minors getting supported by the LGBT
Yeah,
community
And Wales.
and Wales.
And like the 80s.
And McNulty's in there.
What?
Yeah.
It's like based on a true story of like when the miners were striking and protesting, like the gay protesters like came to like join them and like
And they were just a bit like,
We work hard and we play hard.
Like dressed up like a Ben Stiller in Zoolander when he goes in the mines.
yeah, I don't know what to find out.
Merman.
You got the black
Black
lump.
Lollipop.
So all that and more next week. Paco will have Sano talk to us about Destiny and stuff. Oh, I'll have it next week as well. So maybe we'll talk about
Are
it.
we progressing this into like
No,
a games
I-
and movie
No,
podcast?
I would just be
I will absolutely talk to you guys about Psychopaths next week,
Psychopaths.
which is
Oh,
Psychopaths,
Psychopath.
which is the anime we would like me to talk about.
All right, cool. Well, tune in for that next week.
Hey,
I'm
none of
excited.
that fucking stuff. You don't care. Get it?
Okay.
I'm a psychopath.
Here,
No.
do you like Blade Runner? You probably don't. Actually, tell me. Do you like Blade Runner?
You know I do.
Do you like True Detective?
You know I do.
Do you like people with robotic hands?
Probably.
You know he does.
Do you like guns?
I like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Do you like anime?
No.
Next week.
Next week, Raptors in the kitchen. Still live on YouTube.